Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, People in the Future Time and Space, I, Broken Arm Son Gohan. Chapter 21. The current gravity has not reached 400 times, but only 380 times the Earth's gravity. Even if it is 380 times the gravity, it is enough for the current Son Gohan to drink a pot. Under the pressure of the terrifying gravity, Son Gohan clenched his teeth and tried his best to stand up and straighten his back. Since you want to train with gravity, make up an integer. How can you become stronger without pressure? A mere 380 times the gravity can't trouble him in his normal state. I have roughly understood. The number of gravity, the higher it is, the more terrifying it is. Now that the gravity of 400 times has not arrived, I am crushed like this, and I want to practice in the environment of 500 times the gravity. I have to become a Super Saiyan. Just saying a word is extremely difficult for Son Gohan. Enduring the terrifying gravity, Son Gohan mobilized the energy in his body and forcibly raised his hand. In an environment of 380 times the gravity, the energy flow in his body has been slowed down several times, which made him have extremely strict requirements on his own energy control. Aim your finger at the plus sign on the center console and click lightly. With 390 times the force of gravity, Son Gohan, who insisted on practicing, trembled uncontrollably in his legs, and his muscles tensed up, as if he would fall down at any time. With 400 times of gravity, Son Gohan trembled all over his body, his face flushed, and his body began to lean down uncontrollably. At this moment, if he did not have strong willpower to support him, he would have fallen to the ground. The anger in his heart and the determination not to admit defeat made Son Gohan want to continue to increase the gravity. Now the gravity of 400 times makes him look ferocious. If he continues to go up, he may die. These challenges are nothing to Saiyan. It's all about it. Son Gohan put on all of them, and clicked the button to increase the gravity again. 410 times the gravity hit, Son Gohan's legs trembled faster, and the veins on his forehead bulged. 420 times the gravity fell, Son Gohan could no longer maintain the stability of the body. Kneeling on one knee, the muscles of the body have been twisted to a certain extent, and the capillaries are clearly visible. The gravity increased to 430 times, and Son Gohan could no longer maintain his body without leaning on the center console. It looks like this is already the limit. Do not. It's not over yet. Click the button to increase the gravity again, and this time the gravity directly comes to 440 times. And this can be regarded as reached the extreme. Unimaginable gravity descended on his body, making him unable to move an inch. Even if he wanted to vent his anger, he was very dissatisfied, and he couldn't do it if he wanted to continue to increase the gravity. Although he really doesn't want to admit it, the gravity of 440 times is the limit he can bear in his current state. Drink. Son Gohan, who has achieved his goal, liberated the first-level energy pool of Super Saiyan in his body. Otherwise, in his normal state, his body would be distorted and deformed by the excessive gravity. In the blink of an eye, Son Gohan entered the first stage of Super Saiyan. With the blessing of Super Saiyan's form, the mere 440 times of gravity can't affect him in the slightest. Super Saiyan's 50-fold increase in combat power at the first level increased Son Gohan's combat power to 750 million in a very short period of time. The heaviness of the body dissipated, Son Gohan exhaled a long breath, and then clicked the gravity boost button 6 times in a row, making the gravity of the gravity training room reach 500 times. For Super Saiyan, the mere 500 times of gravity is really nothing. Although it is still a bit difficult, it is almost negligible. With my current strength, if I want to challenge the gravity of 500 times normally, it is still too far away. I have to transform to be eligible to enter this gravity environment. Son Gohan clenched his fists and muttered language. He also secretly set a goal for himself. If he can withstand 500 times the gravity of the Earth in a normal state, then his strength and physical fitness will inevitably undergo a qualitative change. At that time, it will even help him reach the realm of super full power in one fell swoop. After testing one's limits, the long journey of cultivation begins here. Start reducing gravity, from 500x to 400x. Son Gohan lifted Super Saiyan's first-order transformation and resisted with normal power. Even with 400 times the gravity, it would still be a huge burden for him under normal conditions. With pressure comes motivation, especially for Saiyan. A ferocious smile appeared on his face. Son Gohan clenched his fists and said with a grin, "Cultivation, let's start." At the same time, located in the northern part of the Earth, the Red Ribbon Legion is hidden in a secret base deep in the mountains. Here is Dr. Zhe Luo's secret research institute. Since the Red Ribbon Corps was destroyed by Son Goku, he used his own ability to create a secret research institute of his own in this lifeless place. The door of this secret research institute has not been opened for many years, and now, this place that has been quiet for countless years has ushered in an unexpected visitor. This unexpected guest is Android 16. Is this the secret research institute in the records? According to the data, there are 3 artificial humans who have not been activated here. Android 16 relied on brute force to enter this dark research institute. As he entered, the lights in the institute illuminated the surroundings. 10 meters away to the left of number 16, 3 dormant cabins came into his sight. After finding the target, number 16 walked towards the location of the dormant cabin, wiped off the ash on the top glass, and he could clearly see the artificial man in the dormant cabin. It seems right, purely mechanical like me, Android 13, Android 14, and Android 15 with the same growth ability as the ultimate Android cell. Android 16 confirmed with a deadpan expression. Now, the time has come. His plan will also start from this. Turning his gaze, No 16's attention shifted to the main computer controlling here. His purpose is the main computer here. Opening the mechanical hidden compartment in the body, Android 16 took out 2 black metal clusters he had collected from the battlefield. The numbers 17 and 18 are respectively engraved on it. These 2 black balls are the center of the eternal energy furnace of Android 17 and Android 18 respectively. Consciousness invaded the main computer, and Android 16 took this opportunity to modify the data of the 3 artificial humans, and to carry out the final transformation of itself. He also needs to have the ability to evolve independently, instead of being a purely mechanical artificial human. Time comes and goes, as if in the blink of an eye. Unknowingly, a month has passed since the androids were eliminated by Son Gohan. Within a month, all the human survivors hiding underground noticed something strange. They have not felt the impact of the destruction of the artificial man for a long time, and have never heard the news about where the artificial man appeared. All over the world, as time goes by, even if no news is received, many human beings come out of the dark and return to live on the ground. For human beings, after there is no threat, they will gradually get used to it, and at the same time, they will return to what they were before, despite the doomsday for so many years. Some humans think that the artificial man has left. Some people thought who came forward to solve these 2 monsters. This allowed some survivors to seize this opportunity and take the opportunity to shout Zhongyang and replace Son Gohan as the savior, saying that the man-made man was killed by him. Among them, Satan is the most. This guy not only achieved his title of savior in the past time and space, but also in the future time and space. Some people believe it, and of course some people sneer at it. It's just that he seized the opportunity and did something that won the hearts of the people. The news reached Bulma of Universal Capsules as well. Bulma's first reaction was to dismiss Satan. Of course, Bulma also thinks this is a good thing, just like Bulma in the past time and space helped Z fighters hide their identities. In order to prevent the Z fighters from being exposed, they turned a blind eye to Satan. The future Bulma feels that one thing more is worse than one thing less, and can indirectly hide the existence of Son Gohan. The most angry one is none other than Trunks. After all, he knew that it was his brother Gohan who killed Android 17 and 18. How can he be convinced now that someone else has taken the credit, and is still such a jumping clown? But Bulma ordered him not to make trouble, and he could only hold back the tone and feel uncomfortable in his heart. Besides, Son Gohan, in the final analysis, the title of savior or something is not important to him at all. But he was quite surprised. He didn't expect that Satan in the future world would still be alive in this era. He also thought that this person had already died under the ravages of man-made humans. Now that Satan is still alive, it is just time for the trajectory of history to slowly return to the right track. And, there was one more person that Son Gohan thought of. If Satan is not dead, then his daughter Vital should not be dead either. In the original book, his wife, The future world really didn't appear. After all, the original Son Gohan in the future world should have died long ago. Because of his time travel, he was alive. Gravity training room. Son Gohan started a new round of sparring with Trunks. The gravity at this moment has reached an astonishing 300 times. Not a big deal for Son Gohan, but not for Trunks. This level of gravity, looking at a month ago, under the premise that Trunks did not change Super Saiyan, would definitely be crushed. But now, after a period of adaptation and tempering, he has been able to walk like flying in an environment of 300 times the gravity. In order to cater to Trunks' practice and relatively give this kid a little room for growth, Son Gohan started combat training with him in an environment of 300 times the gravity. It has to be said that Trunks himself is an outstandingly talented Saiyan warrior, also a hybrid of Saiyan and Earthlings. His cultivation talent is not inferior to Son Gohan. In just 1 month of gravity training, his normal combat power has ushered in a qualitative leap, from the previous 2 million to the current 4 million. In a month, it has doubled. After becoming Super Saiyan, his combat power index will also soar to an astonishing 200 million. As for Son Gohan, every time after teaching Trunks, he will start special training for himself. Today, he has reached 20 million points in normality alone. After becoming a Super Saiyan, the combat power value can climb to 1 billion units. About 3 hours later, the Hardy Two finished their training, opened the door of the gravity training room and walked out. White smoke was rising from Trunks' body. Even after 3 hours, the kid was still excited. That's the end of today's training, Trunks. Follow the method I told you before. Try to break through the Super Saiyan boundaries so that you can break yourself. Son Gohan told Trunks. Exercising with this kid for 3 hours was just a warm-up exercise for me. Trunks could not keep up with the intensity of his cultivation, and he would be crushed to death if he was not careful. Well, I understand, Brother Gohan. Since Brother Gohan told me the realm above Super Saiyan last time, I have also vaguely realized it, and I have a hunch that I will be able to break through that barrier in a short time. Clenching his fists, Trunks is still very satisfied with himself now. He could clearly feel that the current self was a complete qualitative change compared to the self a month ago. As expected of a kid who inherited Vegeta's blood, he realized a higher level so quickly. Son Gohan couldn't help but gasp, surprised at Trunks' talent. Well, this is the best way, but don't forget, the correct way to cultivate is. The words were not finished. Suddenly, somewhere 10,000 meters away, there was a deafening explosion. Boom, single quote. The shock wave of the explosion spread, and everything within a radius of tens of miles was affected, trembling non-stop. What's going on with this explosion? Trunks was startled by such an unexpected situation. Obviously, the man-made humans are dead, so there shouldn't be any horrible existence on the Earth. What happened to this Big Bang? It shouldn't be. In this period of time, there shouldn't be such a mistake. Is it because I changed the plot development of the original work, which caused an indirect butterfly effect? As a time traveler, Son Gohan is well aware of the crises that may occur in the Dragon Ball world at any time. But now, something unexpected happened. As a Saiyan, his intuition told him that the explosion this time was definitely not as simple as it seemed on the surface. Trunks, stay here, I'll go take a look. Subconsciously asked Trunks to stay here. Son Gohan planned to go over to find out. But this time, Trunks refused to obey. Brother Gohan, please let me go with you. Even if I am not half of your size, I will definitely be able to help you. Trunks volunteered. The intuition and justice in Trunks' heart told him that this time, he had to follow. While using it to test my own cultivation results, it is also to prove to Son Gohan that he can also help. Seeing Trunks' unwavering gaze, Son Gohan finally agreed. This kid is indeed not weak now, so he won't let himself be too distracted. Okay, then follow up and find out what happened to the explosion. After finishing speaking, Son Gohan cast flying technique and flew towards the sky. Okay, after getting the permission, Trunks was very excited. He practiced for a month, and finally had a place to use it. The site of the explosion. World peace, but only lasted for a short month. For a month, human beings seemed to be dreaming, because there was no harm from artificial humans. Countless people began to contribute their own strength to rebuild the city. Originally, everything was going in a good direction. But at times like this, unexpected accidents always happen. Countless humans fled in all directions after the explosion, and before they could take a few steps, they would be engulfed by the energy wave and burnt to ashes. Destroy cities and slaughter humans. The leader was a white-haired man in a yellow jacket, with metallic skin and a peaked cap. Beside him, there are two accomplices. One is a purple robot with a short stature, less than 1.5 meters. The other is a white robot with a strong body and an air of steel exuding from top to bottom. Android 17 and Android 18 were wiped out, and the butterfly effect caused other artificial humans to pop up in the current future time and space, and they are the characters that will only appear in the theatrical version. Android 13, Android 14, and Android 15. According to Master No 16's order, slaughter human beings, draw Son Gohan, and then kill him. The headed man-made man number 13 said to his two partners. Listening to his words, it is obvious that the data in his mind has been tampered with. In the theatrical version, the meaning of their appearance is to kill Son Goku, but now Android 16 has modified the command to kill Son Gohan. The other two companions did not hesitate to fire laser cannons to attack the fleeing humans after receiving the instructions. Blue and purple energy bombs, every human being touched will be burned to ashes, and then cause a huge explosion. In just a few seconds, this dilapidated land was once again covered by the stench of thick smoke and fiery flames, recreating the scene of a hell on earth. Help! Among the leading crowd, a middle-aged man with an unshaven beard and an afro was fleeing desperately. Behind him, there are also countless people fleeing for their lives. Mr. Satan, aren't you the savior of mankind? Killed Android 17 and Android 18, you should stop those three guys from acting recklessly. What are you doing now? A person behind said to Satan, who was running at the forefront, questioned. At the same time, it also made it clear to the other fleeing people that the person who escaped the fastest was Mr. Satan, who announced not long ago that the artificial man had been eliminated by himself. The man who was crowned with the title of savior. Fool, let me deal with those monsters, isn't it suicide? Whoever wants to do this kind of work, let him do it. Satan still knows which is more important, life or reputation. There is no need to lose your life for a lie before. Without answering, Satan silently speeded up his escape. At the same time, the fleeing crowd behind him also saw through his disguise. This guy is not a savior at all, he is a liar. Liar, Satan, you, stop it, I will never let you go. Liar, it's my fault that I believed in you so much before. ... There were countless curses from the crowd, but Satan didn't care about it. It just sped up the speed of escape again. It's them. Directly in front of Satan, artificial man number 15 was already waiting here. Satan also recognized it at a glance. Robot number 15 didn't hesitate at all. He raised his hand, the corners of his mouth fluctuated slightly, and a purple light wave shot out from his palm. Yes, I'm sorry. The scene in front of him frightened Satan instantly. With tears and snot flowing from his nose, he knelt on his knees subconsciously, curled up with his head in his hands. Because of this, he dodged the energy light wave of Android 15 by chance. The crowd behind Satan wasn't so lucky, though. The energy light wave of Android 15 hit them, causing a big explosion in an instant. Boom! The energy bomb exploded, scorching flames spread across the ground, and billowing smoke slowly rose. Those who were unlucky were all burned to ashes under the energy light wave of Android 15, without a whole body, not even a chance to scream. This hellish scene completely frightened Satan. Who will come? Who will save me? The clown who pretended to be the savior before was crying on the spot, hoping that someone would come to save him. The only response to him was the purple halo shining again in the palm of No. 15. You, stop me. At the very moment, Trunks arrived in time, sprinted at full speed, and forcibly knocked Android 15 into the air. The attack was interrupted, but the energy light wave was still released, but it was a little off, and it happened to land on the ruins on the right side of Satan. The energy exploded again. Satan was messed up in the wind, he almost thought he was going to die. Hey, you're okay, it's you. Forcibly interrupting Android 15, Trunks turned around and found that the person in front of him was Satan, and was instantly stunned. Isn't this guy the one who took the credit of Brother Gohan before? It's really unlucky, it's not good to save someone, but it happened to save such a liar. Don't relax, Trunks. Son Gohan's stern reprimand came from the air, pulling Trunks' energy back at once. That guy is Satan. Hee. Should we say that we came at the right time, or should he die? Landing from the sky to Satan's side, Son Gohan stared at the terrified man in front of him. A middle-aged uncle who does not keep himself, Son Gohan joked. Son Gohan. You have finally appeared. In the flames behind Son Gohan, there was a scarlet light. Son Gohan turned around, and androids 13 and 14 emerged from the flames. It's them. Just one glance, Son Gohan recognized them. In the theatrical version of Dragon Ball, an artificial human made by Dr. Jay Luo's computer is designed to kill Son Goku. Now that Son Goku is dead, they shouldn't be activated. Could it be that the butterfly effect was caused by changing history? An artificial human again. It's endless. Raising his spirits, Son Gohan's eyes narrowed. The combat power values of Android 13 and Android 14 appeared in front of his eyes. Android number 13, combat power value, 550 million points. Android 14, combat power value, 350 million points. I saw the combat power index. The headed artificial man number 13 is still very strong. This is also in line with the setting of his appearance in another time and space world. Just in this state, the combat power value is enough to compare with Android 17 and 18, and it can even be said to exceed 17 and 18 in some respects. As for the remaining artificial man number 14, it is nothing to worry about. The combat power has only reached the level of 350 million. To be honest, it is not a threat at all to him. However, for Trunks, it is a bit dangerous. Trunks' normal combat power has only reached 4 million points at this time, and the combat power of the first level of Super Saiyan is only 200 million. If you really fight one-on-one, you can indeed deal with it for a while, but you definitely can't hold on for too long. Once Super Saiyan's energy has passed its peak, its strength will decline rapidly. How many artificial humans did Dr. Glow create? After the 17th and 18th died, there are now 3 artificial humans. Trunks clenched his fists, not to mention how inflated his anger was. He hated the existence of artificial humans. Especially after the Earth finally took a breather for a month, and the peace was so short, it was destroyed again. Execute your lord's order and kill Son Gohan. Robot number 13 said in a low mechanical voice. Robot number 14 on the side is ready to go, and various data indicators of Son Gohan emerge in his eyes. The artificial man number 15, which was knocked into the air by Trunks, also returned, took out a bottle of unknown solution from his arms and poured it into his mouth, with a wicked smile on his face. The goal of the 3 cyborgs is undoubtedly Son Gohan. Trunks on the side remained vigilant, not daring to relax in the slightest. He is also next to Son Gohan, because the opponent's target is his brother Gohan. Especially when the other party has a large number of people, I am afraid that there will be more bad luck on my side. Hee. Is the target me? Then follow me. With a relieved smile on his face, Son Gohan didn't ask why, he jumped up and flew towards the outskirts of the city at the fastest speed. There are already many humans living in the western capital, and the reconstruction project is still in progress. He couldn't fight here, otherwise the aftermath of the battle would be too intense and everything would be destroyed in an instant. Kill Son Gohan. The goal of the 3 androids is only Son Gohan. As artificial humans completely controlled by system commands, they will not miss the opportunity. As for Trunks, he was ignored. Don't underestimate me. His own existence was completely ignored, and Trunks was so angry that he chased after him violently. At this moment, the only thing left in the vicinity is Satan, who was lucky enough to recover a life, messing around in the wind all by himself. Just now, he thought he was going to die. Now somehow saved. After regaining consciousness, Satan hurriedly withdrew again, for fear that those man-made humans would come back again and kill him. Shifting the battlefield, Son Gohan headed north at full speed. The 3 cyborgs are chasing after him. After flying rapidly for about 10 minutes, they arrived at a desolate ice and snow field. The extreme north. Son Gohan descended from the sky and landed on a huge ice sheet. In another storyline of time and space, the Z Warriors also solved the artificial people know. 13, number 14 and number 15 here. The only difference is that the opponent wants to kill Son Goku, not him Son Gohan. 3 artificial people followed closely behind, surrounding him on the left and right sides and in front of him respectively. Trunks arrives last and lands beside Son Gohan, trying to help Son Gohan. Will you not have any scruples if you fight here? Son Gohan. Robot number 13 chuckled. I don't know whether he has his own thoughts, or the person behind the control is talking. To be precise, I also carefully selected such a suitable grave for the 3 artificial humans out of good intentions. After all, as robots, every part of your body is extremely precious. It would be bad if someone with a heart finds out. This deserted, icy and snowy place is perfect as your cemetery. Son Gohan said with a smile, not weak at all. Really? Robot number 13 replied with a low mechanical voice, expressionless. It seems that he is thinking. Before the artificial man could respond, Son Gohan spoke immediately, and pointed to artificial man number 15 not far away, indicating that Trunks should deal with this artificial man. Trunks, I will leave that little man to you, and I will deal with the remaining 2 people. Is he my first enemy? Trunks was extremely excited and serious after receiving the instruction. This is the first time he has really fought an enemy, and in his opinion, he must not lose face in front of brother Gohan. Anyway, I also practiced for a month. Leave it to me, brother Gohan, I will not let you down. The young and energetic Trunks was very confident in his own strength. After a month of hard training, he finally had the time to show his results. The opportunity was in front of him, and he had to seize it. Regarding Trunks as his opponent, android number 15 did not have any emotional changes. Even if he was knocked into the air by this kid just now, it wouldn't affect him. He took out a bottle from his arms, took a sip, and then, android 15 took the initiative to fly and left the area. Choose your own grave yourself. HMPH. Stop for me. Trunks was not afraid at all, and now he believed that even with these artificial humans, he had the strength to fight. The 2 moved to the battle area, and here, only Son Gohan, androids 13 and 14 remained. Without a moment's pause, the burly android number 14 opened its mouth and shouted, and in the next second it rushed towards Son Gohan at a very fast speed. The huge fist, wrapped in unimaginable destructive power, smashed towards Son Gohan head-on. In a short moment, Son Gohan mobilized the first-level energy pool of Super Saiyan in his body. The normal 50-fold increase in combat power raised his combat power limit to 1 billion in an instant. Facing the sudden attack of android number 14, he just dodged perfectly in an instant. Boom! The heavy fist hit the ice under his feet, and in just an instant, the ice layer exploded, and countless ice shards soared tens of meters away. Savage guy, I'm here, idiot. Suspended in midair, Son Gohan looked down at the android 14 who was searching for him. Raising his head, android 14 locked onto Son Gohan's position, and its huge body turned into a shell, hitting Son Gohan at the speed of sound. This momentary explosion seemed inevitable to others, but in the eyes of Son Gohan, it was full of flaws. His posture is as perfect and exquisite as a ghost, dodging the assault of android 14, and then hit the cheek of android 14 head-on with a roundabout kick. Bang! The devastating blow landed on the face of android number 14, and the shocking impact instantly distorted the face of android No. 14. The body of android 14 is like a meteorite falling from a high altitude towards the ice. Boom! A loud bang. That huge body crashed headlong into the ice, and the terrifying impact caused countless ice stones to splash. The gap in combat power was revealed in just a momentary collision. Son Gohan's combat power value, under the premise that the normal is 20 million, becomes the first level of Super Saiyan to have a combat power of 1 billion. Android 14's combat power value is only a mere 350 million. Robot number 14 was suppressed with one blow, and Son Gohan glanced at robot number 13 not far away from the corner of his eye. The other party still looked confident, as if he had expected his tough fighting power, and didn't panic at all. So that's the case, just like the original book, are you waiting for me to clear away my companions so that I can absorb evolution? Thinking inwardly, suddenly, another loud shout came. Ah! A strong body rushed out of the ice, his face was distorted and deformed by Son Gohan's blow. It was ugly and ugly. Noisy things, be quiet. Facing the surprise attack of Android 14, Son Gohan disagreed. A cloud of golden flames emerged from the palm of his hand, and with a big wave of his hand, destructive energy shot out from his palm, mercilessly engulfing the artificial man number 14 killed under him. Boom, long, single quote. The energy engulfed the body of Android 14, causing a deafening explosion in the sky. Billowing thick smoke filled the air, and countless scattered parts fell from the sky and fell on the ice. One-hit kill. After getting rid of Android 14, Son Gohan looked down at Android 13 with cold eyes. Even watching his companion being killed, this guy is indifferent, without the slightest emotional fluctuation. Interesting, it seems that you are quite confident in your whole cards. Landing on the ground from the sky, Son Gohan stared coldly at Android 13 not far in front of him. Have you figured out how to deal with me? It's best to bring me a different surprise, or you will be the next one to become like this. Son Gohan pointed at the artificial man number 13 with one finger, provocatively. Robot number 13 was indifferent to Son Gohan's provocation. On the iris of his eyes, countless calculation formulas emerged, and Son Gohan's brand new data were calculated and included in his mind. The data has been collected, and I have insight into all the actions of Son Gohan. Robot number 13 said suddenly. With the countless numbers entering in his mind, he felt that he was already omnipotent. Even Son Gohan cannot escape the formula of data calculation. He thought he had thoroughly analyzed all of Son Gohan's data, but he didn't know that the part of the data he got now was just the tip of the iceberg that Son Gohan was willing to show him. It seems that you have already figured out a countermeasure. Son Gohan chuckled slightly as the corners of his mouth rose and fell slightly. Son Gohan, you are indeed a very good fighter, but no matter how powerful a fighter is, there will be flaws. Robot number 13 smiled confidently. In the next second, with a thought, he began to pull the important items left after the death of Android 14. In the shattered body of Android number 14, the undestroyed data storage chip and an energy furnace flew from the ice cave, and were respectively embedded in his left temple and left chest. The entry of the data chip and the energy furnace brought him a qualitative change and sublimation in an instant. The computing power has skyrocketed, and the energy in the body has undergone drastic changes due to the addition of an energy furnace. Boom! In an instant, an aura of extreme terror erupted from the body of Android No. 13. Crackling. Single quote. Countless blue and white electric arcs linger around Android 13's body. At this moment, although his appearance has not changed much, his energy has ushered in a great strengthening. It's amazing. Can it be so strong just by absorbing one of its companions? His eyes narrowed, and Son Gohan's eyes showed the combat power value of Android 13 at the moment. After absorbing the data storage chip and energy furnace of Android 14, the combat power value of Android 13 soared from 550 million to 950 million. The distance from breaking through to the realm of 1 billion is only 50 million level of combat power. Compared with the current Son Gohan, the combat power value between them is not much different. Today is your end, Son Gohan. Android 13 said confidently. Really, Son Gohan, who was dismissive, struck out decisively. The body was disillusioned, and it rushed out like an aurora, killing the artificial man No. 13. The powerful blow went straight to the opponent's cheek. Robot number 13 seemed to have expected it long ago, raised his hand, and lightly blocked the heavy blow that could collapse the mountain. Boom! A loud bang. The aftermath was turbulent, and the previous android number 13 would definitely not be able to resist it, and even a hand would be abolished because of it. But now, android number 13 not only blocked the heavy punch with one hand, but also stood there motionless. It seemed that Son Gohan's attack hadn't affected him in the slightest. It's my turn. Raising his hand to dispel Son Gohan's attack, Android 13 launched a counterattack. The artificial man number 13, which had initially transformed and sublimated, launched a counterattack. The offensive was so fierce and fast that it suppressed Son Gohan in a short time. The collision between fists and feet continued to heat up, and the turmoil of the battle far exceeded the impact of any previous battle. The shock wave generated by the collision stimulated layers of frightening waves and storms in the space. Android 13 analyzed Son Gohan's next move in just 0.1 second by virtue of its miniature supercomputer that had been strengthened again, and could predict Son Gohan's attack trajectory and attack direction in advance. Every move of Son Gohan seemed to be seen through, either blocked or dodged. In the blink of an eye, the battle continued to intensify and accelerate, becoming more and more intense. Boom, LB, boom, LB, boom, LB, boom, LB, boom, LB, boom, LB. With the addition of fists and feet, the collision intensified, and layers of terrifying storms and shocks were ejected. Within a radius of several kilometers, everyone was affected by the impact of the collision. Visible huge waves swept in all directions, and layers of ripples destroyed the surrounding icebergs, forming a devastating impact. Icebergs collapsed, ice sheets shattered, heaven and earth shook, seas boiled and mountains shook. Son Gohan played on a par with the first stage of Super Saiyan and the evolved robot number 13, and the two are inseparable. As the battle continued to heat up, Son Gohan's interest was also hooked. The blood flow of Saiyan in the body accelerated, and the heat began to rise. Under Robot No. 13's accurate and unmistakable prediction, he began to gradually fall into a passive state. Conversely, be suppressed by the opponent. The difference in combat power index between the two sides is only 50 million, and Son Gohan is still slightly disadvantaged because of the lack of an arm. Another war zone located in the extreme north. The battle between Trunks and Android 15 has begun. The former has no reservations, and directly exerts all his strength, becoming the first-level state of Super Saiyan, and his combat power value soars to 200 million. The latter just smiled after seeing the astonishing increase in energy brought about by the opponent's transformation, and didn't care too much. This level of combat power cannot defeat him. The crisis in the future world should be over, Android. With boundless anger pouring out of his heart, Trunks charged towards Android 15 with all his might. Moving like the wind, as fast as lightning, there was a flash of golden light, and Trunks' fist, which was enough to crack the ground, hit number 15 hard on the face. Boom! A sound of air explosion slammed on the spot, and the shock wave visible to the naked eye set off waves in the space. The hat on the head of Android 15 was overturned by the strong wind, and it was blown away tens of meters away. Withstanding a full-strength blow from Super 1 Trunks head-on, Android 15 was as stable as Mount Tai, motionless. There was also an intriguing smile on his face. Nani? Trunks was stunned when the blow with all his strength failed to shake Android 15 at all. The expression on Android 15's face became cruel and evil. He grabbed Trunks' wrist with one hand, and a terrifying force erupted, forcibly breaking it apart. Trunks was stunned. How could the gap in strength be so large? He has obviously worked hard to cultivate for a month, but now he is not what he used to be. But the cruel fact gave him a slap in the face. Bang! There was a muffled sound, and the thrilling sound of entering the flesh sounded, and the powerful fist of Android 15 slammed into Trunks' abdomen. The power of just one blow made Trunks spit acid water from his mouth, his whole body twitched, and his actions became extremely hard for a while. The 150 million difference in combat power is here. Even if Trunks now has a combat power of 200 million, he still cannot defeat Android 15. Pound! With a bang, Android number 15 locked onto Trunks and kicked out with a whip. Terrifying power swept across Trunks' whole body in an instant, turning it into a cannonball and shooting it fiercely into the iceberg dozens of meters away. Boom! With the impact of Trunks, the entire iceberg collapsed in an instant. Ice flakes scattered all over the sky, and Trunks was buried by countless ice blocks. The two understated attacks suppressed Trunks. Robot number 15 took out his bottle that has remained unchanged for thousands of years without looking back, took a sip, turned around and was about to leave. Their goal is to kill Son Gohan, and Trunks is just a small task for a temporary transformation. Just when Android 15 took a step forward, the iceberg that buried Trunks erupted with a terrifying shock of golden energy. The countless ice blocks that buried Trunks were all overturned by the impact of this extremely terrifying breath. Robot number 15, who was just about to leave, stopped moving forward, turned his head, and Trunks, standing at the energy center, came into his sight. There was a streak of blood hanging from the corner of his mouth, and his eyes were full of determination and anger. "You don't want to leave until you kill me." Trunks clenched his fists tightly and his eyes were firm. He would not let Android 15 leave. Hearing this, Android 15 once again focused his attention on Trunks. With a thought, the mechanical body rushed towards Trunks at an unimaginable speed. In less than half a second, Android 15 descended in front of Trunks, and the violent attack fell like raindrops. Boom, LB, boom, LB. The sound of metal and flesh colliding sounded, and every attack of Android 15 was blocked by Trunks' flesh and blood. The power of war. Even if he couldn't defeat the artificial man number 15, he could still deal with it and prevent himself from being defeated so easily. Several consecutive attacks were blocked by Trunks, and Android 15's attack rhythm and attack power continued to increase, which put a lot of pressure on Trunks. In the process of constant fighting, Trunks continued to get used to the fighting mode of Android 15. Adapt, grow, from having no resistance at the beginning, to slowly having the ability to resist a little. The arms and body were covered with huge fist marks and wounds destroyed by Android 15. Trunks seized the flaws in Android 15's attack, riveting enough strength, accumulating strength, and hitting hard. Bang! The collision of flesh and metal sparked several electric sparks. This time, the charged heavy blow also blasted Android 15 to a distance of tens of meters, crashed into the ice layer, and was covered by ice and snow. It's so hard. The tingling sensation from his fist made Trunks grin his teeth. This kind of shock force when it collided with the metal made his fists numb. But this time the counterattack was successful, which also made him excited. Since the opponent is not invulnerable, then he has the possibility to reverse the situation. On another battlefield, Robot number 13 and Son Gohan are suspended in the sky at the same time, and the two are facing each other 10 meters apart. You're finished, Son Gohan. Raising his hand, Android 13 released the bloody cannon. Shoot countless beams of energy in his palm, and kill Son Gohan. Faced with the assault of energy bombs, Son Gohan didn't care, and just raised his hand to disperse all the released energy waves. A trick that has no lethality at all is useless to me. Son Gohan judged indifferently. Really, Robot number 13 was expressionless, and when the trial was over, he changed to another attack method. Speeding like lightning, Android number 13 has already reached Son Gohan's body, and the iron fist that exudes a metallic aura and is surrounded by blue and white arcs sweeps out. Boom! Even if Son Gohan blocked it in time, this powerful punch still knocked him back more than 10 meters away. Son Gohan, in this battle, you will definitely die. All the data about you has entered my chip, and your every move is within my expectations. Robot number 13 taunted confidently. He didn't know at all that the data he had learned so far was nothing useful at all. Son Gohan in the distance stabilized his body. Seeing the arrogant and domineering appearance of Android 13 in front of him, he couldn't help laughing. You seem to be too confident in your data. Let me remind you that in front of Saiyan, this kind of inherent data will always be meaningless. After the words fell, Son Gohan's body was ignited with a golden breath, his energy the intensity is also soaring at an alarming rate. These changes made the face of artificial man number 13 serious, and the energy detector in the body can detect that Son Gohan is now trying his best to increase the energy in his body. You had a good time just now, right? Now it's time for me. My strength is far more than what you have seen. With a loud drink, Son Gohan's eyes narrowed, and his whole body ushered in an explosive attack, increase. The violent golden aura raged in all directions, and in a flash, Son Gohan detonated all Super One's combat power at the moment. The momentum climbed up, and in the instant of 0.1 seconds, it fell in front of the artificial man No. 13. The speed was so fast that the artificial man did not even have time to react. Boom! There was a bang, and there was a piercing sonic boom in the space. Robot number 13, who had said that Son Gohan would die without a doubt, flew hundreds of meters away by this blow. His body slanted down and crashed directly into a huge iceberg. The terrifying force instantly turned the iceberg into a sky full of ice chips, splashing in all directions. The warm-up exercise is over, Son Gohan is finally serious. Robot number 13, which was blown away by a single blow, rushed out of countless shattered ice and landed in front of Son Gohan again. The face that suffered the heavy blow was somewhat distorted, and even if it was made of special metal, it would still bend after enduring this terrifying blow. At the corner of Android No 13's mouth, there was also a strange pool of blood. "Ha, you robot, is it oil or blood?" Son Gohan joked. Being ridiculed by Son Gohan, Android 13 did not answer. He raised his hands together and clasped them together, a scarlet light appeared in his palms, and a strange blood-red air bomb was condensed into shape at this moment. This move is exactly Android No 13's Nirvana, SS deadly bombing. This move not only has the power to split the Earth in two, but also has the effect of automatically tracking the target. Faced with the Nirvana of Android 13, the corners of Son Gohan's mouth rose and fell slightly. He held it with one hand, and a blue light appeared in his palm. He is determined to eat this wave of energy. Fight against Saiyan. What an extremely stupid decision, come on. Turtle Pie Chi Gong wave. Pointing one hand in front of him, accompanied by Son Gohan's voice shouting, energy surging, rich blue energy light waves burst out from the palm. Boom. Single quote. Two devastating energy attacks collided. An extremely horrifying big explosion exploded in the sky, and the aftermath of the explosion was even more terrifying than the explosion of tens of millions of tons of nuclear weapons. The endless mushroom cloud soared into the sky, and the dazzling flames covered the sky. The storm visible to the naked eye was enough to tear everything apart. The extreme north seemed to be crushed, and countless glaciers began to melt. Everything within a radius of tens of miles has been affected beyond recovery. Fortunately, they were fighting in this desolate place. If they were fighting in a city, countless people would be buried in this blow alone. Ding. Automatically absorb the energy dropped by the deadly bombing of Android 13 SS, and successfully convert energy points, 50 million points. Obtained a huge wave of energy points. Son Gohan did not stop there. The battle between the two sides officially opened the prelude to the second round. At the instant of the explosion, the two sides rushed towards each other. His figure was disillusioned, his shape was like lightning, his speed couldn't be captured by naked eyes, and his mighty momentum spread over tens of miles. The hand-to-hand combat started again. Son Gohan and Android number 13 were at the edge of the center of the explosion. You attacked and defended, and you chased and fought. This level of battle has gone far beyond the level where Son Gohan faced Android 17 and Android 18 alone. Located on the edge of the battlefield, on an inconspicuous small glacier. The culprit that prompted another crisis in the future, Android 16 is here to watch. However, the image of number 16 has undergone tremendous changes compared to before. The black tight-fitting armor has a stronger and huge body, and the whole body is covered with various hidden weapons. Under his own arrangement, his body has been remodeled successfully. Now, although he is still a purely mechanical artificial human, he has the ability of self-evolution. Besides, his strength has reached a terrifying level. As the Black Hand planning everything behind the scenes, he is currently collecting all values and information about Son Gohan. Numerous calculation formulas flashed in his pupils, and the impact intensity and shooting method of each battle of Son Gohan will be rigorously calculated and turned into his data. However, this data alone is not enough. He has personally witnessed the form in which Son Gohan killed Android 17 and Android 18, but because the other party did not maintain it for too long, the collected data was not comprehensive enough. He has to wait for Son Gohan to get into that state. The number 13 is a great tool to use. Absorbed number 14's energy furnace and data chip, evolved to have such strength, but still can't force Son Gohan to take out that form. Muttering to himself, Android 16 turned its target to another battlefield, and Android 15 battlefield between the USS and Trunks. Since one energy furnace and data chip is not enough, let's get another one. On the 16th, the robot number 15, who is on the battlefield in the distance, transmits instructions, asking him to kill Trunks immediately, and come to meet up with the robot number 13, and take action together to get rid of Son Gohan. This moment, Android 15 is suppressing Trunks comprehensively. The battle, which could be resolved in a short period of time, has been delayed until now, and there is a gap of 150 million points in combat power between them. Even if Trunks has a combat power value of 200 million, it is impossible to deal with it for such a long time. It's Android 15 playing. He's a robot, but he has a certain degree of self-awareness. Boom. With a loud bang, Android 15's full-strength blow instantly broke Trunks' defense and sent him flying hundreds of meters away. With palms together, terrifying energy instantly poured out like a tsunami, devouring Trunks' body. The shock wave generated by the energy explosion swallowed everything around it. Robot number 15 showed a satisfied smile when he saw this. Under this blow, it is absolutely impossible for Trunks to survive. After solving Trunks, Android 15 rushed to the combat area of Android 13 at the fastest speed. On another battlefield, the battle between Son Gohan and Android 13 has undergone earth-shaking changes. The two sides were evenly matched at the beginning, and completely transformed into Son Gohan's unilateral advantage. Hand-to-hand combat has also transformed into energy warfare. Blue and light red, two strands of energy are continuously lacing, all over the sky. The collisions continued, triggering countless ear-piercing explosions. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Android 13 and convert it into energy points, 1 million points. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Android 13 and convert it into energy points, 1.5 million points. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Android 13 and convert it into energy points, 2 million points. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Android 13 and convert it into energy points, 2 million points. Energy bombs exploded all over the sky, and each explosion will provide Son Gohan with no less than 1 million energy points. The sound of system prompts kept ringing in Son Gohan's mind, which made him very excited. For him, the more energy points, the better. In the explosion of energy bombs all over the sky, Son Gohan seized the flaw of Android 13, turned into an aurora, and killed the opponent. Son Gohan's palm brutally grabbed the face of Android 13, exerting strength with 5 fingers. The terrifying force deformed the face of Android 13, and then raised his hand and threw it with all his might. The body of Android 13 flew upside down like a cannonball. After changing the combat thinking, all the data and analysis collected before Android 13 will not be of much use. Taking advantage of the victory and chasing after, Son Gohan rushed forward again, chasing and beating Android 13 fiercely. The attack method this time is no longer the usual Guaxian-style fighting method, but after improvement, it follows its own wildness, and is as simple and effective as a wild beast. Data collection in progress. Data collection failed. Recollecting and analyzing Son Gohan's combat stats. Analyzing. Analysis failed. Collect and analyze the Son Gohan combat index and energy index again. In just a few seconds, Android 13 experienced dozens of hundreds of consecutive fatal blows. His metal body was torn apart, countless cracks spread from his chest to his waist, including the metal connection between his face and his brain. Saiyan's strength cannot be represented by those mere numbers in your eyes. Artificial man. With a roar of anger, Son Gohan charged for a heavy blow, severely injuring the brain of Artificial Man No. 13. Crack. Single quote. The head of Android number 13, which was hit hard, was directly shattered in half, and the penetrating electric light suddenly appeared. Android number 13 was severely injured by this devastating blow, and the system almost collapsed. Warn. The body is severely damaged. The body is severely damaged. The same warning sound kept lingering in the mind of Android 13, and his body also fell towards the ground uncontrollably. It was not enough to blow up No. 13's head. Son Gohan took advantage of the victory to pursue, raised his hand, and the energy gathered in the palm turned into a compressed air bomb to kill Android No. 13. At the very moment, a seemingly inconspicuous purple figure flashed past, and rescued Android 13 just in time when it was about to be swallowed by an energy bomb. The energy light wave fell into the air and bombarded the ice surface. The terrifying explosion sound spread in all directions, and the billowing thick smoke rose from the ground and shot straight into the sky. Have you escaped a catastrophe? Oops, Trunks. Number 13 was rescued, which made Son Gohan immediately think of Trunks. Brother Gohan, sorry, I couldn't stop him. At this moment, Trunks' voice came from behind Son Gohan. In a blink of an eye, Trunks, covered in scars and blood, came into his sight. Fortunately, nothing happened to this kid, but he was somewhat bloody. You don't need to be sorry, you've done a good job. Son Gohan responded, turned his gaze, and quickly locked on Android 13 and Android 15. Hearing this, Trunks on the side clenched his fist secretly, furious in his heart. He hated his uselessness. If he could delay the artificial man 15 for a while or kill the opponent, he would not have caused the current situation and caused trouble for brother Gohan. And Son Gohan's attention is all focused on the artificial man. In the theatrical version of the original book, Android 13 absorbed the energy furnaces and data storage chips of 2 artificial humans, thus evolving into Super 13. According to his understanding, the combat power value of Super the 13th of may be comparable to that of a full-body cell. Of course, the specifics have to be verified. He can also take this opportunity to get more energy points. Here are the 2 androids. Robot number 13 was rescued at a critical moment, and now robot number 15 will donate its own energy furnace and data storage chip. Android 16 has modified their instructions, and number 15 is also very clear about its role and destiny. Sacrifice your companions and achieve yourself. At the same time as number 15 fell, the data storage chip is integrated into his temple, and the energy furnace is integrated into the chest on his right side. The transformation of Android 13 has begun. Ah! A beast-like roar erupted, and the evolvable energy furnace in number 13 ushered in sublimation and transformation after swallowing an energy furnace. His destroyed half of the head was also repaired because of this evolution. Not only the injuries were repaired, but the body of number 13 was also expanding at an extreme speed. The original shawl and white hair stood tall and turned orange-red, the face and arms turned dark blue, and the shoulders and chest armor it becomes grayish-white. The eye area becomes yellow, the eyebrows disappear, the brow bone is pulled down, and the pupil disappears. Witnessing the evolution of Android 13 with his own eyes, Son Gohan smiled excitedly. Everything is under his control, including the evolution of Android 13, which is also in his plan. In the eyes of others, the evolved Super number 13 is an extremely terrifying demon, but in his view, this is a big piece of meat and potatoes, with energy points all over his body. He has evolved. Feeling the terrifying oppression on Super No. 13, Trunks widened his eyes, his pupils shrank sharply, and felt the bottomless depth from the bottom of his heart of fear and timidity. The evolved Super number 13 gave him an invincible feeling. Stand back, Trunks, leave it to me. After reminding Trunks, Son Gohan took the initiative to go to the position of Super number 13. Trunks on the side, even though he was unwilling, knew what he should do next. Staying here will only drag Son Gohan down. Secretly, seeing that Super 13 was finally born in Android 16, it showed a wicked smile of a successful plot. With the current energy intensity of Super number 13, it is no problem to defeat Son Gohan. If Son Gohan dies at the hands of Super 13, then there is no need for him to do so. However, he still prefers that Son Gohan can take out Super 13, so that he can achieve the final step of his plan. Number 13, kill Son Gohan. Android 16 attempted to issue orders to Super 13 again through the microcomputer. But what happened next surprised him. Super 13, ignoring his orders. After swallowing 2 energy furnaces and evolving into Super number 13, No 13's thinking has also been sublimated, becoming no different from a beast. It is no longer a purely obedient artificial intelligence, but a very destructive life form. Get out of my control. Android 16 enters in-depth analysis. The potential and functions of the evolvable energy furnace are far more powerful than he thought. Not only can it increase strength, but it can also give life to robots. Even if they have extremely low sanity, they are still real-life forms. With this information, Android 16 no longer took the initiative to issue orders to Super 13, but hid in the dark to watch the battle. The iris of both eyes opens the data analysis panel again to collect all the information of Son Gohan. On the battlefield, Son Gohan rushed to the front of Super 13, staring at this beast with a certain self-thinking ability. The ability was displayed, and the combat power value of Super number 13 appeared in his sight. 2.5 billion. After absorbing the energy furnace and data storage chip of Android 15, the strength of this guy's evolution soared by more than 2 times. It's amazing. From a mechanical body to a living body, the things created by Dr. Jie Luo are all unexpected monsters. Son Gohan sighed from the bottom of his heart. The combat power of 2.5 billion is nearly 3 times stronger than what he is now. But he is still confident, fighting so far, his energy points have broken through to the 300 million node. Enough to exchange for 3 level 6 combat strength upgrade cards. Son Gohan opens the system interface. The energy points he currently holds are 313.75 million points. System, exchange for a level 6 combat strength upgrade card. With the 313.75 million points he currently holds, he is still very willing to spend 100 million points to exchange for a level 6 combat power upgrade card. Ding! The level 6 combat strength upgrade card was successfully exchanged, and the energy points of the host were deducted, 100 million points. The host can open the storage warehouse and use it directly. Host remaining energy points, 213.75 million points. Use the level 6 combat power-up card. Looking at the level 6 combat strength enhancement card stored in the warehouse, Son Gohan used it without hesitation. Ding! Successfully use the level 6 combat power-up card, and immediately increase the combat power index by 30 million points. The system's notification sounded in his mind, and in an instant, a terrifying energy surged through his body, and in just an instant, Son Gohan's aura more than doubled. Normal combat power has increased by 30 million points. At this moment, his normal combat power has reached an astonishing 50 million points. Just one use of a level 6 combat strength enhancement card allowed him to cross a great realm. The normal combat power has skyrocketed, and Super Saiyan's combat power has also risen accordingly, but now he is in an ordinary Super Saiyan state, and his combat power value has increased to an astonishing 2.5 billion. It is completely equal to the Super number 13 at this time. Ah! Blood-red energy flames emerged around his body, and the sternness of the 2.5 billion combat power was fully displayed at this moment. The wind raged and the sky shook. Just the power of energy is enough to shake the earth. HMPH, you are still far behind in terms of transformation. After the words fell, Son Gohan directly released the deeper energy pool in his body. After a month of high-intensity training in the gravity training room, his physical strength was already terrifying. And under this huge pressure, he not only perfectly mastered the first and second stage of Super Saiyan, but also broke through to a higher level of Super Saiyan, the first and third stage. Han! Boom! The golden flame centered on Son Gohan, forming a super huge tornado that destroyed the world, and this extremely sturdy aura swept across the world with lightning speed. The sky was covered with dark clouds, thunder was rolling, and golden lightning kept falling, whipping the earth. The extremely northern territory was changed in shape by this extremely sturdy energy, and the modules of the earth were relocated. Son Gohan's combat power index is rising at an astonishing speed, but in the blink of an eye, he broke through the 2.5 billion mark, entered the 3 billion realm, and is still moving towards a higher realm. Son Gohan's body swelled due to the surge of energy. The body muscles are exaggeratedly strong, and the clothes on his body are supported by the constantly expanding and bulging muscles, as if they might explode at any time. The veins all over the body were throbbing, the hair stood up even more, the pupils in the eyes dissipated, and the intensity of the breath alone was enough to cause changes in the world. Having personally experienced this horrific burst of energy, Super 13 felt the deadly threat from Son Gohan. The instinct of the beast told him that Son Gohan must not be transformed successfully and must be killed. Grinning his teeth, Super number 13 raised his hands and held them up high. The scarlet flames spread all over his body, the energy in his body was pulled and gathered in his palms, and a scarlet gas bomb with a diameter of 10 meters was condensed. Its power is so terrifying that it is not a problem to blow up the earth to pieces. Ah! The destructive energy bomb mercilessly engulfed Son Gohan's body, causing a deafening explosion. The shock wave of the explosion was terrifying to the extreme. Everything within a radius of tens of miles was evaporated and destroyed. As a result, the extreme north was destroyed, and the originally icy cold area was directly blown into a desolate wasteland. Another mushroom cloud with a height of tens of thousands of meters soared into the sky, and the edge could not be seen at a glance. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by the Super number 13 destructive gas bomb and convert it into energy points, 15 million points. In the center of the billowing gunpowder smoke, billowing golden gaseous flames blow away all the surrounding gunpowder smoke. Son Gohan stands here in the form of the first and third stage of Super Saiyan, and the invisible power is even more terrifying. The feeling of oppression brought by the swollen muscles is not weaker than that of Super number 13. In the third stage of the first stage of Super Saiyan, the combat power of the normal 70 times has increased significantly, raising Son Gohan's combat power value from 50 million to the node of 3.5 billion, which is not a star and a half stronger than Android 13. Unscathed by the full blow of Super 13 head-on, Son Gohan watched Super 13 with contemptuous eyes. Sensible Super 13 felt the contempt in Son Gohan's eyes and flew into a rage. Once again he charged at Son Gohan with great speed. That huge fist, like a phantom, caught people off guard, and the naked eye alone couldn't see its movement trajectory. But in Son Gohan's eyes, it was pitifully slow. Turning his head slightly to dodge Super No 13's thrusting punch, Son Gohan's cold gaze met him, and the imperceptible sense of oppression was even more sturdy to the extreme. The attack was dodged. Super number 13 became even more angry, driven by the instinct of a beast. With combined fists and feet, every attack contained terrifying power that could overwhelm mountains and seas. Every move was enough to destroy everything. His attack was fierce, but he never touched the corner of Son Gohan's clothes. Bang! There was a muffled sound. The heavy punch of Super number 13 was held by Son Gohan with one hand, and the terrifying force burst made it impossible to move forward. After so many hits, it's my turn. After the words fell, Son Gohan charged up his right leg and hit Super No 13's jaw hard with an upward kick. Bang! With a muffled sound, Super number 13, who was hit hard, lost control of his body and shot straight into the sky like a rocket. When he regained control of his body, Super number 13 found himself at an altitude of 10,000 meters. Sun, enlightenment, fan, Super number 13, who was suppressed again, let out a deep beast roar. He clasped his hands together, his whole body ignited with a blood-red evil spirit, and the 3 energy furnaces in his body maximized their output, providing endless energy. The bright red scarlet light illuminated the sky, turning the clouds and space into red, and he once again condensed his ultimate skill Super SS Deadly Bombing. The power of this nirvana is quite terrifying, and if it is launched from this angle, no matter what, the earth will not be spared. Chapter 31. Son Gohan, who was on the ground, looked up at the flickering bloody light in the sky. The energy intensity condensed by Super number 13 is quite astonishing. This lunatic launches his nirvana from this angle, so that he has nowhere to hide. Once he dodges the entire Earth, he will become the target of attack. Cut. You started to blow up the planet after a disagreement. You are quite similar to Frieza in this respect. With a cold snort of disdain, Son Gohan shook one hand, and the golden flame was mobilized and slowly converged towards his palm, a steady stream of energy condensed in the palm. Facing the star-destroying blow of Super number 13, he must also use his nirvana to check and balance it. High in the air, Super No 13's nirvana, Super SS Deadly Bombing, was condensed and formed, expanding to an astonishing 100 meters in diameter. This is the strongest energy that can be released after the 3 energy furnaces are fully destroyed. Ah! Out! A scarlet light illuminates the sky. After the Super SS Deadly Bomber broke away from Super 13's control, its volume expanded dramatically, expanding several times again, and its diameter directly exceeded 500 meters. Facing the overwhelming deadly bombing of giant Super SS, the nirvana in the palm of Son Gohan also condensed into shape. It's over. Magic flash light. With a wave of one hand, a golden energy light burst out from Son Gohan's palm enough to wipe out everything, and collided with the Scarlet Super SS Fatal Bombing. Boom! The collision of the 2 destructive energies caused the heavens and the earth to shake. Located at the center of their energy collisions, the energies of the 2 are continuously compressed and accumulated. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by the deadly bombing of Super 13 Super SS and convert it into energy points, 5 million. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by the deadly bombing of Super 13 Super SS and convert it into energy points, 10 million. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by the deadly bombing of Super 13 Super SS and convert it into energy points, 10 million. Because of the energy confrontation, the system's notification sound kept ringing. A steady stream of energy points were collected by Son Gohan. The super number 13 at this moment has become a tool for Son Gohan to extract energy points. On the surface, it seems that the two sides are evenly matched, but in fact Son Gohan has a bigger hidden. The collision between energies lasted for 20 seconds, and the system's notification sound disappeared. The value of super number 13 was also squeezed out. It's time. After the words fell, Son Gohan exerted all his strength. The energy output of the magic flash in the palm increased by a circle. With his exertion, the deadly bombing of the Super SS of the android Super 13 was pierced by the magic flash in an instant, and under the fearful gaze of Super 13, he was devoured. Under the devastation of the energy of the magic flashing light, the body of super number 13 was disintegrated and burned. Boom! The golden light shone across the earth, and the impact of the explosion spread to every corner of the earth. After the great momentum, Son Gohan stood on the surface wearing a golden light. The impact of the explosion in the sky and the resulting smog dissipated. Android 13 has been smashed to pieces in the explosion, and only a very small part of the wreckage remains. Everything seems to have come to an end, and the crisis of artificial humans has also come to an end at this moment. Do not. This is just the beginning. When super number 13 was wiped out, the black hand hiding behind the scenes finally showed up. In the sky, a black shadow swiftly swept across, and captured 3 well-preserved energy furnaces in the wreckage of Super 13. The black shadow also fell from the sky and landed in front of Son Gohan. The Comer, the initiator of all these crises, is Android 16. You are. No. 16. Son Gohan recognized him at a glance. This person is Android 16 in the original book. Not only is its strength far beyond Android 17 and Android 18. In the past time and space, it even suppressed the invincible cell that absorbed a large amount of life energy. In the future time and space, there are only number 17 and number 18 artificial humans, and there is no shadow of number 16 at all. Not to mention that the 16th, 13th, 14th and 15th should also not exist. Now it seems that he wants to be simple. This number 16 is not the number 16 he knows. In the original book, number 16 has a gentle personality, likes nature, and doesn't like fighting. The armor on his body is also light green. The android 16 in front of him not only has a fierce aura coming from his body, but also is covered with black armor, and Son Gohan can feel the danger signals coming from the whole body of No. 16. This is to completely transform his body into a mobile phone. Armory. Nearly 2 billion combat power. This is too exaggerated. How strong is number 16 in the original book? Son Gohan wondered in his heart. I didn't expect you to know me, Son Gohan. Arriving in front of Son Gohan, number 16 didn't know what Son Gohan was thinking, but was shocked that Son Gohan knew himself. He has been hiding very well, never even showing his face, but Son Gohan knows his existence. These 3 artificial humans were released by you, Son Gohan said with solemn eyes, looking at Android 16, not daring to relax in the slightest. As you said, Son Gohan. After answering with a chuckle, number 16 absorbed the 3 energy furnaces in Super No 13's body while talking. With the entry of the 3 energy furnaces, No 16's body also ushered in a huge transformation. The muscles of his body swelled, his height went straight to 3 meters, emerald green energy lightning gushed out from his body, and at the same time, his combat power value also increased at an astonishing rate. The combat power value of Android 16 was presented in front of Son Gohan's eyes, surpassing him in just an instant, and sprinting towards a higher realm. Is this guy the culprit who is manipulating everything behind the scenes? I really didn't expect that he would be involved in this real future space-time world. Son Gohan couldn't help sighing in his heart. The combat power of Android 16 has broken through to more than 3 billion at this time, and the value is increasing at a rapid speed. The whole planet slowly became depressed due to the power of Android 16. The sky was covered with dark clouds, lightning and thunder, and such scenes seemed to be entering the end of the world. The light green energy turned into arrogance, and the terrifying power traversed all directions. The red hair became erect and turned into scarlet, the pupils disappeared, the eye sockets were swallowed by blood, and the combat power value also increased to 4 billion. Even Son Gohan, who was a time traveler, was taken aback by this force. The current combat power value of Android 16 is almost the same as the full body cell in the original work, right? I see, this guy. Is he following the example of Android 13, devouring similar energy furnaces and chips to evolve? Seeing doubts, Son Gohan muttered to himself. The strength of this force has already thrown him away by a large amount, and its strength is even comparable to the full body cell in the original book. Although Son Gohan doesn't know how strong the full body cell is, it should be at this point. However, it still looks like an uncontrollable beast, with only twisted and crazy expressions on its face. With the explosion of shouts, light green energy lingers around the body, all the energy furnaces in the body explode at full power, and the surging green light shoots straight into the sky. Its power is infinite, and its destructive power is even more astonishing and terrifying. As the combat power value 4 billion. His pupils shrank sharply, and Son Gohan felt bad. Before he could react, Android 16. No, it was Super Number 16 who had already killed him. Super Number 16, who was full of fierce eyes, did not have any emotional fluctuations, and swept out with a devastating punch. The destructive power held by the ferocious fist is terrifying to the extreme, and its infinite power is enough to destroy everything. Boom! The terrifying blow hit Son Gohan's abdomen hard, and the sharp pain that hit Tianling Gai knocked him out of consciousness. Son Gohan, who was hit hard, flew backwards at supersonic speed, and was even sent flying out of the extreme north by this terrifying blow. When he came back to his senses, Son Gohan was embedded in a chaotic rock. In front of his eyes, countless rock mountains collapsed, and his body that was blown away smashed countless mountains. The fist marks on his abdomen appeared, and the excruciating pain made him grin his teeth. Enduring the severe pain and standing up, the pain felt all over his body, just like the injury he suffered when he just crossed into Son Gohan. But the difference is that he is much stronger now. Just like this, he can't be defeated. The militant factor in the body and Saiyan's blood boiled even more. The defense of the first and third stages of Super Saiyan is stronger than the previous two forms, otherwise this blow would at least hurt his internal organs. As a time traveler, it would be really ridiculous if he fell down so easily. Wiping off the blood stains from the corner of his mouth, Son Gohan opened the system mall without hesitation. System, exchange for a level 6 combat strength upgrade card. Ding! The level 6 combat strength upgrade card was successfully exchanged, and the energy points of the host were deducted, 100 million points. The host can open the storage warehouse and use it directly. Host remaining energy points, 448.75 million points. Use the level 6 combat power-up card. Ding! Successfully use the level 6 combat power-up card to randomly increase the combat power index by 10 million points. As the system's notification sounded, all the bonuses from the combat power-up card poured into his body. The value of normal combat power is increased by 10 million on the basis of 50 million. Although it is only 10 million this time, these combat power will be magnified again under the transformation of Super Saiyan. The turbulent energy surged into Son Gohan's whole body, and he could feel the sublimation and transformation of his body. Golden arrogance rose from the soles of his feet, and the extreme coercion burst out in an instant. Golden arcs lingered around his body, and terrifying power gushed out from Son Gohan's body. The first and third stage of Super Saiyan, the combat value is 4.2 billion points. Come on, the last cyborg. With an angry shout, Son Gohan cast flying technique to fly into the sky. In his sight, the distant Super Number 16 was killing him at an extremely fast speed. With his eyes fixed, Son Gohan took the initiative to attack. He was hit just now, and now he wants to get it all back. With a distance of hundreds of meters, Son Gohan shot out at the speed of an instant burst. The devastating blow pierced through the space and directly hit the face of Super Number 16. Bang! With a loud noise, terrifying power swept through the whole body of Super 16. In just a split second, the body of Super Number 16 was sent flying tens of thousands of meters, and hit the ground obliquely. Boom! The ground collapsed, and cracks spread rapidly like spider webs. This punch also calmed Super Number 16, who had just gained strength and went crazy. The scarlet light in his eyes dissipated and he regained his sanity. He broke free from the burial of the rocks and slowly floated into the sky. The automatic positioning device in his eyes quickly locked on Son Gohan's position. The wrists of both hands were removed by him, and the gun barrel in the center was shining with purple-red light. Hell combo. After the energy was accumulated, countless golden energy light balls burst out from the barrel of Super No 16's hands, and rushed towards Son Gohan in an overwhelming encirclement. In just a few seconds, Son Gohan was surrounded by energy bombs all over the sky, and there was nowhere to hide. It's useless, number 16. Muttering to himself, Son Gohan unleashed his momentum, forming an indestructible energy protection barrier around his body. In the next second, countless energy bombs retracted towards the same position with overwhelming momentum, blocking all spacemen, leaving Son Gohan nowhere to hide. Boom, 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 boom. The roar of the explosion was enveloping endlessly. The scorching flames kept flickering and the smoke was billowing, making it difficult to see what was going on inside. Son Gohan, who resisted all the energy explosions head-on, was unscathed, and his powerful breath formed a protective wall to block the damage of the explosion. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super Number 16 Hell Combo, and convert it into energy points, 3.5 million points. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super Number 16 Hell Combo, and convert it into energy points, 4 million points. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super Number 16 Hell Combo, and convert it into energy points, 5 million points. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super Number 16 Hell Combo, and convert it into energy points, 5 million points. The system beeped one after another, and Son Gohan kept smiling. Another large amount of energy points. Although it will be tiring to carry it down, the reward is great. The Super 16's hellish combo lasted a full half-minute before stopping. Putting the wrist back on, Super No 16's eyes froze. In his eyes, the search device was searching for Son Gohan in the thick smoke. Through the dense smog, he vaguely saw Son Gohan who was unharmed. Reanalyze and collect Son Gohan's battle data. Super Number 16 gave an order, and the system in the double pupil began to actively analyze Son Gohan's energy intensity, and combined with the previous data, simulated a more effective fighting method. High in the air, the thick smoke dissipated, and Son Gohan looked down at the Super 16 not far below, showing contempt. To be honest, in fact, the appearance of these artificial humans this time has brought him great benefits. At least if they didn't show up, he wouldn't use the level 6 combat power-up card to improve his strength and reach his current state. Your attack is useless except for kicking up a little dust. Moving his body, Son Gohan said indifferently. At this moment, in terms of combat strength, he is actually only 200 million more than Super No 16. But in this realm, the gap of 200 million will also make a world of difference in various performances. Even with one hand missing, Son Gohan's burst of power could have crushed the Super 16. This is the difference in quality. With a thought, the strong body broke through the space and teleported to 10 meters in front of Super Number 16. The sudden appearance of Son Gohan made Super Number 16 feel the pressure. Speed up the system in the twin pupils, speed up the collection of Son Gohan's combat indicators, analyze the opponent's weaknesses and defeat them one by one. Just like the guy before, he wants to use data to calculate how to deal with me. Is there still my weakness? Ridiculous. With one hand clenched tightly, golden flames gushed out of Son Gohan's body, shaking the sky in an instant. Earthquakes, dark clouds, the whole world seems to have entered the end of the world. The energy value continued to rise, and the system in the Super Number 16 double pupil was seriously overloaded, causing a crash, and all calculation results disappeared. Son Gohan, have you been hiding your own strength before? All the data collected before were wrong. Did you do it on purpose? Super Number 16 asked angrily when the calculation failed. Having completed the last link of the plan, he has also evolved into the ultimate mechanical android that is comparable to the ultimate cyborg cell in the plan. As long as he kills Son Gohan, his plan will be perfectly successful. It stands to reason that he has 2 eternal energy furnaces, 2 energy furnaces, and 2 evolvable energy furnaces in his body, and he wants to kill Son Gohan. Gohan is a breeze. But now, the calculations are wrong, and Son Gohan's strength is far above him. Using your simple statistics to measure my strength is a stupid thing. As the Black Hand who plans everything behind the scenes, you can be regarded as well-intentioned, but unfortunately, the final winner will only be me. There was a boundless killing intent in his eyes, and Son Gohan rushed out violently. In an instant of 0.001 seconds, Son Gohan smashed the ground under his feet, and descended in front of Super Number 16 like lightning breaking through the space. The fist wrapped in terrifying killing intent blasted out, and the terrifying force was enough to shake the planet and penetrate the Earth. Boom, long. Super Number 16 stretched out his hand to resist, but with his current strength, even if the combat power value is as high as 4 billion, he can't resist the fist with the combat power value exceeding 4 billion at all. With one hit, Super No 16's face was severely distorted, and the whole person flew upside down uncontrollably. Taking advantage of the victory, Son Gohan used ultra-high-speed movement, and just exploded at a speed comparable to the speed of sound in an instant, but caught up with the inverted Super 16 in a blink of an eye, and kicked with power, and the shattering kick severely damaged Super 16 number. Hungarian boar. The breastplate in front of his chest was completely shattered by this blow, and that huge body fell towards the ground. The impact caused by the impact made the surrounding area tremble, and the whole land was torn apart, forming a chasm that was tens of miles long. With one hand clenched tightly, the light gathered in the palm, Son Gohan shouted, "This is the era of artificial humans, it should have ended long ago." Throwing it with one hand, an energy ball whose diameter was compressed to only 10 meters broke through the space and bombed out. The moment Son Gohan launched his attack, Super Number 16 in the abyss also launched a counterattack. A blood-red energy bomb rushed out of the abyss and expanded rapidly, collided with his energy bomb, and both exploded. Intense flames and gunpowder smoke drifted into the air, and the shock wave generated by the explosion shook everything within 100 miles. Ding! Automatically absorbed the energy of the Super Number 16 destroying air bomb and convert it into energy points, 7 million. Boom! Suddenly, the whole Earth trembled, and under Son Goku's shocked eyes, the Earth exploded, and Super 16 killed him in the form of a demon. Fighting to this point, coupled with his own evolution, he no longer believes in such things as data. To kill Son Gohan, use the most effective and primitive method. Kill you, Son Gohan. The 6 energy furnaces are operating at full power in the body, providing Super Number 16 with power beyond the limit for a short time. Expanded to the realm of 4.5 billion. Kill me, just with your robot. Contempt and disdain were revealed in his words. Son Gohan flew over and killed Super 16. The two sides fought together, switching and shifting the battlefield back and forth in all directions. Air combat, ground combat, switching back and forth between two different battlefields. The energy fluctuations of the collision make the Earth vibrate continuously, and the strangeness of the Earth can be felt all over the world. Even, the impact of the collision has forcibly changed the orbit of the Earth. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super 16 and convert it into energy points, 3 million. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super 16 and convert it into energy points, 3.5 million. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super 16 and convert it into energy points, 4 million. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super 16 and convert it into energy points, 6 million. As the battle continued to heat up, countless energy points were harvested by Son Gohan. Super Number 16 abandoned data analysis and launched an attack on Son Gohan in his own way of thinking. The 6 energy furnaces in his body were overloaded, increasing his combat effectiveness index to 4.5 billion. Facing the mighty Son Gohan, he can only devote himself to the battle. Even if he relaxes a little, it will cause his own demise. Is this your full strength? You want to kill me with this level of strength, which makes people laugh. The 4.5 billion combat power is useless, even if it is higher than himself, but Son Gohan is not afraid. While punching hard, he spoke sarcastically. His violent punches and kicks forced Super Number 16 to defend. Even if he can counterattack, Son Gohan can dodge with precision and skill, and suppress him again with stronger force. This is the difference between humans and artificial humans. The fighting style and fighting power are different in all aspects. Under the fierce pursuit of Son Gohan, the suppressed super number 16 became extremely angry. All the energy furnaces in his body were overloaded, forcibly increasing his own energy intensity and combat effectiveness index. However, the energy radiating from the inside out made his body unable to bear it, and began to collapse from the inside out. Can you increase your energy again? But it's meaningless no matter how much you increase. Your body will explode due to the overload output of the energy furnace in your body. At that time, you don't even need me to do it yourself, you will take it yourself perish. In front of Super No 16's combat power value climbed to 100 million again, Son Gohan didn't take it to heart at all. Indeed, Android 16 is powerful, but it is a mechanical body after all. The energy comes from the energy furnace in the body. The more the number, the stronger the strength. A body of flesh and blood has infinite possibilities, especially Saiyan, who can constantly sublimate and transform in battle. This point is never comparable to a mechanical body relying on fixed data. As the battle continued to heat up, the energy furnace in his body provided Super Number 16 with a steady stream of energy, resulting in a short-term increase in his combat power, and he began to fight back. However, in the face of the increased power of Super 16, Son Gohan still felt disappointed, and lightly blocked all the attacks and dealt a fatal blow. Even if Super Number 16 is indeed superior in terms of combat power, but the real gap in combat power is that Son Gohan is better. A powerful knee kick shattered Super 16's breastplate and blasted the opponent out again. Just use this blow to end this battle. Even if you absorb the energy furnaces and data storage chips of other artificial humans, your strength is nothing more than that. Losing the patience to continue playing, Son Gohan released all the energy in his body, terrifying energy erupted from the body in an instant. The sturdy momentum turned into a golden tornado capable of swallowing everything, forcing back the Super Number 16 who came again, and the muscles of his body swelled again at a speed visible to the naked eye. The third stage of the first stage of Super Saiyan, this transformation can maximize one's own energy within the range that the body can bear, at the cost of sacrificing speed. With one hand clenched tightly, the light gathered in the palm, and the terrifying halo exuded the aftermath enough to destroy everything in the space. The power and destructive power of the ancestral Kamehameha wave will increase with the energy intensity of the user. Using this trick to eliminate Super Number 16 can be regarded as the greatest affirmation for this ultimate artificial man. The energy limit of the first stage and the third stage of Super Saiyan is increased, and Son Gohan's combat power value directly soars to 4.5 billion within the limit range that the body can bear, infinitely approaching 4.6 billion. The fully released Kamehameha wave releases Son Gohan's energy to the greatest extent, and can exert 100% combat power, or even exceed 100% combat power. As long as the energy of the user is strong enough, the power of this nirvana will be infinitely magnified, even if it destroys the entire solar system. The energy detector in Super Number 16 sent a warning signal. This terrifying energy was beyond his ability to deal with it. But he still had to fight to the death. The arms and wrists were removed at an extremely fast speed, and the energy tubes shone with golden red light. Not caring so much, Super Number 16 overloaded all the energy furnaces in his body, even if he would explode and die. Disappear. The last cyborg of this era. Super Turtle Pi Qigong Wave. Accumulated energy to the extreme, Son Gohan shot out from the palm of his right hand enough to subvert all Azure energy cannons. The blue energy cannon has a diameter of 500 meters, and its destructive power is unimaginable. Super Limit. Hell, Flames. Super No 16's accumulated nirvana was also released at this moment, and double golden energy beams burst out from the center of the barrels of both hands, and merged into one in an instant. The power of the two energies is unstoppable, and either party has the ability to blow the earth into ashes. Boom! A loud bang. The two energies collided, and Son Gohan's one-handed Super Kamehameha wave clearly had the upper hand, suppressing the hellfire of Super Number 16 and retreating steadily. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super Number 16 Hell Flame and convert it into energy points, 3 million. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super Number 16 Hell Flame and convert it into energy points, 4 million. Ding! Automatically absorb the energy dropped by Super Number 16 Hell Flame and convert it into energy points, 5 million. The collision of energy continued to intensify, and Son Gohan's one-handed Super Kamehameha wave firmly suppressed the hell flame of Super Number 16, but it was too late to crush it. At the risk of exploding to death, Super Number 16 desperately squeezed the energy furnace in his body to provide him with stronger energy. Several cracks appeared on the body from the inside out, shining fiery red light. Super No 16's whole body was covered with these cracks. His face was hideous, distorted and ugly, as if his mechanical body would be torn apart in the next second. Unable to win the Super Number 16 for a long time, Son Gohan also reached the final breaking point. Ha! The threshold that has been preventing him from crossing the limit has been crossed and surpassed under the premise of his best efforts. Breaking through his own limit, Son Gohan's strong body slowly shrunk, as if condensed, and his strong muscles were compressed to the extreme. The body shape returned to its original normal size, but the energy ushered in a qualitative leap. Boom! The energy of the Super Kamehameha wave explodes for half a circle. The Super Kamehameha wave that has undergone a qualitative change has completely crushed the nirvana of Super Number 16 with a devastating force. A breath engulfed the mechanical body of Super Number 16 that was on the verge of collapse, and the terrifying blue energy beam was even thicker to a kilometer. Under the ravages of energy, the body of Super Number 16 was disintegrated and destroyed little by little. Not a single atom was left, ushering in complete destruction. A horrifying beam of energy breaks through Earth's atmosphere and heads straight for the universe. It exploded outside the Earth, and the dazzling blue light bloomed, covering the sky within 100 miles, and it didn't stop until 10 seconds later. Son Gohan looked at the sky and was relieved to make sure that there was not even any wreckage left on the Super 16. He let out a breath of relief, and his fighting nerves, which had been tense all the time, also relaxed. After a long time, Son Gohan came back to his senses and noticed the changes in his body. Now he is no longer a strong Super Saiyan first stage, third stage. The shape is exactly the same as the normal Super Saiyan state, but the strength and coordination of energy and body have surpassed the first and third stages of Super Saiyan. The first level of Super Saiyan full power. Unexpectedly, it has been achieved by accident. Carefully feeling the energy intensity and purity in the body far beyond the previous one, Son Gohan sighed to himself. The crisis brought about by the artificial man this time has given him enough opportunity. Not only allowed him to gain a lot of energy points, but also allowed him to break through the original boundaries and enter the first level full power state of Super Saiyan one step earlier than planned. Because of the rise in realm, the release of potential, the value of normal combat power has also been improved. At this time, his normal combat power value has reached 65 million points. On this basis, the first level Super Saiyan full power, an 80-fold increase in combat power, directly raised his combat power value to 5.2 billion. More than 5 billion nodes. It can be said that his current strength should completely surpass the full power Son Goku in the period against Cell, or even the full body Cell. Chaoyi has cultivated to full power. The next step is the second level of Super Saiyan. Son Gohan's second goal is a higher level of Super Saiyan. It's only a matter of time before this body's bottomless potential breaks through to the second level of Super Saiyan. Unlocking Super Saiyan's first full power transformation, the tiredness of fighting and the exhaustion of physical strength flooded the whole body instantly. This sudden tiredness almost made Son Gohan unsteady and fell to the ground. Brother Gohan. After the battle, Trunks also came. What's the matter, Trunks? I think you seem to have something on your mind. Son Gohan stared at Trunks, and with just one glance, he saw through what the kid was thinking. Trunks wanted to stop talking, his face was full of self-blame. It's okay, Trunks, failure can always run through life, this setback will make you stronger. Out of physical instinct, Son Gohan patted Trunks on the shoulder, indicating let him not be discouraged. Well, those wounds that can't kill me will turn into my strength. Encouraged, Trunks became more and more determined to become stronger. Let's go, it's time for us to go back. Comforting Trunks, Son Gohan flew violently towards the direction of the capital, and Trunks followed closely behind. With the demise of Super 16, the era of artificial humans has come to an end. If all goes well, there will never be such a thing as an artificial human on Earth again. Western capital. Returning from the extreme north, Son Gohan dragged his tired body and returned to the Universal Capsule Company with Trunks. After seeing the two return safely, Bulma also breathed a sigh of relief. After all, they are the last fighting force on Earth. It is also the last shield to protect this planet. After dinner, Son Gohan dragged his tired body towards his room. No matter how powerful a fighter is, he still needs to rest, not to mention how much energy he has released in this continuous wheel battle, plus the consumption of his spirit when breaking the limit. Sufficient rest is needed to ensure the mental state of the next day. Like him, Trunks is in this state, even more serious than him. Next morning, as usual, Son Gohan didn't sleep in because of the previous day's consumption. Woke up early to wash up, and came to the living room again. Bulma had already made breakfast. Sitting at the dining table, Son Gohan felt strange that the boy Trunks' breath was no longer in exodus. I didn't ask too much. After all, if there is no artificial human, there is no need to restrain this kid. After a brief exchange with Bulma and explaining the specific situation yesterday, Son Gohan took the initiative to go out to find supplies. Although the West has recovered in the previous month, people are slowly coming back. However, there is still a shortage of supplies, especially food. Originally, a huge amount of materials had been collected before, but they were all exhausted. 3 hours passed. Almost all cities within a radius of 3,000 miles were visited by Son Gohan. Not to mention cities with human beings still alive, cities with almost no human surviving. As long as there are materials that can be used, they will be thrown into the universal capsule by him. There is a universal capsule in hand, although it is not very convenient, but any number of items can be stored in the capsule and taken away. This time, the amount of supplies that Son Gohan swept away was enough for them to squander for half a year. It can be seen that without Trunks, he would be more efficient. The task of collecting materials is completed, and Son Gohan is just about to return to exodus. Suddenly, a breath appeared in the perception. Out of the corner of his eye, he noticed a figure with double ponytails flashing by in a supermarket tens of meters away. With a curious mind and a thought, Son Gohan teleported behind the girl. The girl at this moment didn't even know that someone had appeared behind her. She just concentrated on herself and nervously collected the supplies on the shelf. Due to her height, she couldn't hold the items on the shelf in front of her at all. Even if she tried her best to stand on her toes, she couldn't reach it. This scene really made Son Gohan couldn't help but laugh out loud. Simply hold back. Let me help you. Without hesitation, Son Gohan took down the item above. Only then did the woman realize that there was someone behind her, and the first time she turned around, there was a ferocious whip kick. It was beyond Son Gohan's expectation. He didn't expect this little girl to be a trainee. Raising his hand to block the sweeping whip, Son Gohan saw the girl's face clearly. A familiar face came into sight. As a time traveler, how could he not be able to resist who is the girl in front of him? You are Vital. Son Gohan subconsciously called out the other person's name. The other party could call out his name. Vital was surprised for a while, feeling incredible. After all, she didn't have many friends these years, she was always alone, and she didn't remember seeing this man. Who are you? Why do you know my name? Vital questioned, eyes still vigilant. In this era of doomsday and incomplete supplies, both humans and artificial humans must be vigilant. Even, she is far more wary of humans than artificial humans. Now that materials are scarce, those who are in dire straits, who knows what kind of things they will do. For a little food, killing the same kind is also a common thing. Over the years, she has encountered too many strange events. I didn't expect that there was such a fate. I met Satan before, and now I meet her. She in the future world is the same as Vital in the original world in the past. Son Gohan couldn't help sighing inwardly. Don't be so nervous, I didn't come to plunder your supplies, but I didn't expect to meet Satan's daughter here. Son Gohan said. Let the other party's vigilance first, so that it will be more convenient to communicate. Hearing this, Vital was also taken aback, knowing that in this doomsday world, no one can easily believe what he says. However, since the other party knew so clearly, there was only one explanation, and that was that he was his father's friend. You know my father? Vital tentatively questioned. That's right. Not only do I know your father, but we met once just yesterday. Facing Vital, Son Gohan didn't lie, he just said around the corner. After getting the answer, Son Gohan didn't look like he was lying, so Vital relaxed his vigilance halfway. Since this is the case, then it's not the enemy. I still need to collect supplies, so give me what you have. He stretched out his hand, and Vital begged directly. Son Gohan doesn't have ink marks either. After all, this thing is useless to him. What other materials do you need to collect? You can tell me, and I will help you find it together. Passing the materials in his hand to Vital, Son Gohan volunteered. Perhaps it is because Vital is the original wife of the original body, Son Gohan's feeling towards her is indeed different from other women. Of course, Vital is really cute and beautiful. It proves that the original owner's vision is correct. Everything that should be there is already there, and this place has been swept away, so I don't need your help. After receiving the supplies from Son Gohan, Vital noticed Son Gohan's severed arm. Also a poor man. Involuntarily, Vital sighed in his heart. She didn't know that if Son Gohan knew about this idea, he would definitely be dumbfounded. By the way, Vital-san, has Mr. Satan returned? Seeming to see Vital's intention to leave, Son Gohan changed the subject and asked about Satan's whereabouts. You know, we met in Exedu yesterday, which is quite a distance from Exedu. Of course, what Son Gohan wants is not to really know the traces of Satan, but Vital, since you have encountered it, you can't miss it. Looking at Son Gohan, Vital felt entangled in her heart, because she couldn't tell whether the person in front of her was good or bad because of a one-sided relationship. He knows that I am my father's daughter, so I must be a very good friend with my father. After all, he never said that I was his daughter in front of other outsiders. Vital guessed in his heart. Seeing Vital's hesitation, Son Gohan roughly guessed the result. I have something very important to discuss with Mr. Satan, so I hope Miss Vital can take me to meet your father. After half an hour, under the leadership of Vital, Son Gohan came to a dilapidated building in the southern suburb of the city. 23rd floor, room 01. No one would have thought that there are people living here. Because, looking at the surrounding buildings and the damaged appearance of this building, one would not think that there would be people hiding here. This is it, I'll open the door. Vital took out the key in his bag and opened the door. TVs, sofas, and all kinds of furniture are in good condition and neatly placed. Son Gohan noticed Satan lying on the sofa smoking a cigarette casually, enjoying the feeling of puffing. Dad, I'm back, and you're smoking cigars again. Vital returned home, and immediately preached to his father, Satan. It should be said that this daughter is indeed of this character in the original book. Vital, you're back so soon, huh? The one next to you is. Noticing that Vital brought a man back home, Satan felt familiar for a while, frowning and observing carefully. The next second, his eyes almost popped out. In his memory, how could he forget what happened yesterday so quickly? Isn't this the person who saved his life from those man-made humans yesterday? Although it happened suddenly, his photographic memory will not admit his mistake. Dad, this gentleman said he was your friend. He said he needed to discuss something urgent with you, so I brought him here. Vital gave Son Gohan a handsome look, and explained to Satan. Hearing this, Son Gohan was fine and kept smiling, but Satan's soul was almost scared away. You know, not long ago he also took the credit of the savior instead of others, saying that he killed the man-made man. But yesterday the artificial man reappeared. He almost lost his life, and then his identity as a liar was seen through by some people, although those who knew his true identity have disappeared in the energy attack of the artificial man, but Satan still has scruples. Returning here in a hurry is also to avoid the limelight at home. Strictly speaking, we met yesterday, I think you still remember. I have something to discuss with you, Mr. Satan, the savior of mankind. Eyes narrowed slightly, Son Gohan's body emitted there is a faint aura. In just a split second, this targeted breath sent a chill down Satan's spine and his eyes glazed over. This feeling made Satan's heart sink, and cold sweat fell on his forehead, as if he would lose his life at any time. It's over, he's here to trouble me, what should I do, what should I do? Satan's heart was turbulent, and he was too nervous to speak. Now he also understands that this man is the real savior of mankind, who killed the artificial man, the hero of all mankind. Dad. Noticing Satan's tense expression, Vital couldn't say anything. I think, should we have a good chat alone, Mr. Satan? There should be some misunderstanding between you and me, what do you think? Eyes narrowed slightly, Son Gohan said with a calm expression again. The words have been said for this sake, it is inevitable. Not knowing where the courage came from, Satan stood up in front of his daughter and nodded. Dad. Vital realized something was wrong at this moment, it was too late. She knew that the person she brought back was not her father's friend at all. Seeing her father's nervous expression, Vital suddenly felt that something was wrong, and she also guessed that the man with the broken arm in front of her was not simple. Just as she was about to say something, she was stopped by Satan. It's okay, Vital, just wait a moment, Dad, there are some things that really need to be explained to this friend, don't worry, nothing will happen. Saying that, Satan adjusted his nervousness, looked at Son Gohan with his head held high, and walked towards the room ahead together. Before closing the door, he did not seem to have the slightest emotional turmoil, and he was very domineering, but when he entered the room and closed the door, he stopped cooking in an instant, and it was only Son Gohan's back that made him subdued. Satan, it's time to talk about business. Turning around, Son Gohan looked at Satan. You. Satan, who was under the strong emotional shock, almost collapsed his psychological defense at this moment. He has basically determined that the crisis of the android was resolved by the one-armed young man in front of him, first Android 17 and Android 18, and then the android who wreaked havoc in the city yesterday. It seems that you don't need to say anything, you already understand, yes, it's what you think in your heart, but you don't have to be too scared, I'm not here to trouble you. Seeing Satan's nervousness, Son Gohan chuckled lightly, showing a nonchalant look again. Okay, what do you mean? After receiving the answer from the other party, Satan was reassured, and most of his tension and fear dissipated. However, still dare not take it lightly. I'm sorry, I replaced you before. At that time, I was greedy and wanted to take this opportunity. Don't worry, in the future, I will never. Before Son Gohan took the initiative to say anything, Satan confessed his crime. Of course he didn't know what Son Gohan meant. Hearing these words, Son Gohan didn't take it seriously, and said, no, you have to keep doing it as the savior. These words instantly stunned Satan. The other party really didn't come to trouble him. Instead, let him continue to be the savior of mankind. Under the sun, is there such a good thing? This dilapidated world needs a leader to bring technology and all aspects back to normal. I can't lead the road to revival. Although I defeated the artificial man, I don't want to take care of this mess. If you want to be the savior so much, then you may as well take this position. Son Gohan said calmly. At this moment, Satan was stunned. Not only did the other party not expose him, but he also supported him to continue pretending to be the savior of mankind. Pie in the sky, really such a good thing is going to happen to him. Of course, if you want to continue being the savior, you can't let you be in vain. Son Gohan's words instantly made Satan feel a thunderbolt. What was the arrogance and look of domineering in front of the crowd before? Being able to bend and stretch, this old boy is quite admirable. My lord, I'm sorry that I replaced you as a human hero. It was my fault, and I will pay for what I did. I just ask you not to take action on my daughter. She is my daughter, the only family member in the world. Please let her go. Satan seemed to have misunderstood something, and kowtowed to Son Gohan to ask Son Gohan to let Vital go. Do you think I will harm your daughter? Son Gohan narrowed his eyes slightly, reading Satan's thoughts. He didn't expect Satan to have such a side, which was beyond his expectations. You know, Satan in the original book is very much in favor of his daughter and Son Gohan getting together. It can even be said that he personally gave his daughter to the Sun family. In this future world, everything seems to have changed. Hearing Son Gohan's rhetorical question, Satan didn't know how to answer. Don't worry, I don't have any thoughts about your daughter. You can continue to be the savior of mankind, but the condition is that you have to send a batch of supplies to the Universal Capsule Company every other month. This condition is right. As far as you with the title of savior, there should be no problem, right? In addition, if there is any incident, or a big change, you must report to Bulma of Universal Capsule Group, this is my request. Son Gohan said. Toolman Satan. In this world, is there anyone better than him? Huh. After learning about Son Gohan's conditions, Satan couldn't even believe his ears. It's that simple. If he used the title of the savior of mankind to lead mankind, wouldn't all the materials be at his fingertips? Why can't it be done? Then I'll go find someone else. Son Gohan joked. No, no, no. Don't worry, I will definitely complete this task. Satan quickly nodded and bowed in agreement. Such a good opportunity is right in front of him, how could he let it go? Outside the door, Vital's expression was solemn, and she vaguely smelled something wrong. Before the artificial man appeared, his father was a fighting champion, and it shouldn't be a problem to deal with a disabled person who lost one hand. In Vital's guess, the door was opened, and Son Gohan and Satan had finished talking. At this moment, Satan seemed to have changed into a different person, and the previous panic and shock were completely gone from his face. This sudden shift made Vital stare, confused. What the hell happened? Then I'll leave first, Mr. Satan, you can handle the follow-up matters yourself. Son Gohan walked towards the door without looking back. Go slowly, Mr. Sun. Satan rubbed his hands together and said with a bright smile. Dad, what happened between you just now? After Son Gohan left, Vital couldn't help being curious and stepped forward to ask. It's not important, Vital. From now on, we'll have a good life. Satan rubbed his hands, with excitement in his eyes. You guys, what on earth did you say? And Dad, you look so excited. Vital blinked in confusion, with a puzzled expression on his face. Stepping out of the building, Son Gohan directly used the flying technique to float into the sky. All the things that should be arranged have been arranged, and he doesn't have to worry about collecting resources in the future, and someone will naturally come to his door. With a thought, Son Gohan flew violently in the direction of Exodus. However, he never expected that he planned to abandon Vital and miss her for the time being, but the trajectory of this world seems to be bringing Vital closer to him. He performed flying technique to fly, just in time for Vital to see. Fly all the way to Exodus. Having settled a small matter on his mind, Son Gohan used the short time now to communicate with the system again. After yesterday's round of battles, the energy points he currently holds have reached a certain amount, and now it's time to consume them. System, open the system mall. After thinking silently for a while, a special interface of the system appeared in front of Son Gohan's eyes, and his own data panel also appeared on the side of his right hand. Host, Son Gohan. Age, 27. Bloodline, Earthman Saiyan Mixed Blood, Special. Normal Combat Power Index, 65 million points. Currently holding system energy points, 1.055 billion points. Mall list recommended exchange. Opening square bracket. Extremely Hot Eyes Beginner Edition. Users can emit super powerful lasers from the eyes, which are so powerful that they can penetrate everything and open up the world. Required energy points, 1 million points. Requires energy points to redeem the full version, 100 million points. Energy Cube Barrier Primary Edition. Users can drive it at will to form a protective shield, or to imprison opponents. The interior is self-contained, isolated from the outside, indestructible. Required energy points, 5 million points. Requires energy points to redeem the full version, 100 million points. Opening square bracket. Narcotic Gas Bomb Primary Version. Throwing a coquettish gas bomb, the person hit will be paralyzed for a short period of time and unable to move. The primary version of this skill cannot have an effect on an existence whose strength is far beyond its own. Remember the required energy points, 500,000 points. Energy points needed to redeem the full version, 50 million points. It can paralyze existences whose strength is no more than 10 times its own, and the time limit depends on the strength of the hit person. Opening square bracket. Sudden Storm Primary Edition. Fires countless energy bombs with a coquettish atmosphere, can track opponents, and can also rely on self-awareness to control. Remote manipulation. Required energy points, 1 million points. Energy points are required to redeem the full version, 10 million points. Opening square bracket. Extremely Huge Storm Primary Version. Can cause a large-scale explosion at the feet of any enemy, leaving the opponent with nowhere to hide. Required energy points, 2 million points. Energy points required to redeem the full version, 200 million points. Opening square bracket ... Instant transmission 7-day experience card. As long as you can feel chi, you can cross planets, cross dimensions, and go to any location in the world. Required energy points, 10 million points. Energy points required to redeem the full version, 100 million points. Today's recommended exchanges are all skills. As expected, the system recommended him the most in short supply at the moment. After being surprised for a while, Son Gohan took a closer look. To be honest, for Son Gohan, what is really lacking now is skill. His methods are too simple, whether it is hand-to-hand combat or energy warfare, the only thing he can fight is strength. Sure enough, I'll use the primary version first, and I'll definitely buy the full version when I realize the utility. Talking to himself, I have to say that the things listed by the system cannot be bad. But he also has to decide according to the actual situation. It's true that you are greedy, then you have to see if you have enough energy points. After all, the energy points he has are only 1,055,000,000 points. Done. I'll be fooled by you once, and exchange for the 10 full version skills in the recommended list. If you haven't tried it, you still don't know. Only when you get it, will you know whether the recommended thing is worth buying. Son Gohan decisively exchanged all the skills in sight at once. In a simple sentence, I have taken a fancy to these things. I have energy points. Willful. Ding. Full version extremely hot divine eye is successfully exchanged, and host energy points will be deducted, 100 million points. Ding. Full version energy cube enchantment is successfully exchanged, and host energy points will be deducted, 100 million points. Ding. Full version anesthesia gas bombs are successfully exchanged, and host energy points will be deducted, 50 million points. Ding. The full version sudden storm is successfully exchanged, and host energy points will be deducted, 10 million points. Ding. The full version the great storm was successfully exchanged, and the energy points of the host were deducted, 200 million points. Ding. Full version instant transmission is successfully exchanged, and host energy points will be deducted, 100 million points. Ding. Full version successful exchange of spiral air bombs, deduction of host energy points, 50 million points. Ding. Full version the melee combat exchange is successful, and the energy points of the host will be deducted, 100 million points. Ding. Full version Dejin is successfully exchanged, and host energy points will be deducted, 100 million points. Ding. The full version Aurora Divine Walk is successfully exchanged, and host energy points will be deducted, 100 million points. Host remaining energy points, 145 million points. In just a split second, the 10 exchanged skills poured into Son Gohan's mind as countless streams of information. After a brief 2 or 3 seconds of brain swelling, Son Gohan digested all the huge amount of information. Spend 900 million energy points. Although my combat power value has not increased, but my strength does seem to be much stronger than before. Muttered to himself. He stopped flying, intending to test out his new skills that he had just acquired. Instant transmission. Closing his eyes, the breath perception spread, and soon, Son Gohan felt Bulma's breath. With a thought, instant transmission is cast. Whoosh. Son Gohan's figure was disillusioned, as if he had never been here before, and just evaporated out of thin air. Western Capital, Universal Capsule Private Estate. At this time, Bulma, holding a notebook in his hand, was studying something thoughtfully. The content in the notes is the crystallization of her countless years of hard work. All the steps involved in building a time machine, down to the smallest detail, and the drivable energy that requires special craftsmanship to produce. Even though the future world is now peaceful, she still wants to carry out this plan. She doesn't want the past world to repeat the same mistakes, and she wants to change the past. As long as Son Goku is alive, the Earth will not suffer so much suffering. Just when Bulma was researching whether there were any mistakes in his notes that needed to be corrected, there was a change in the space in front of him, and Son Gohan appeared in front of Bulma out of thin air. Ha! Gohan! Son Gohan, who appeared suddenly, interrupted the focused Bulma. We have collected some supplies, which are enough for us to use for half a year. Son Gohan was not excited and didn't say anything, but calmly took out a universal capsule from his bag and handed it to Bulma. That's it, thanks for your hard work, Gohan. Putting down the note in his hand, Bulma took the universal capsule. After communicating with Bulma for a long time and talking about all the problems, Son Gohan said goodbye and left. In general, he knows about instant transmission. As for other skills, you can also try them one by one in the future to see how effective they are and whether they are worth so many energy points. You know, if it wasn't for his strength reaching this limit, or if he hadn't gained energy points, the unit of 100 million alone would have made him autistic. Gravity training room. The red light inside is deep, and its gravitational force has reached 400 times that of the Earth. Ordinary people would be crushed into meat in an instant here. Bandages were wrapped around Trunks' shoulders, and he was practicing while struggling painfully. It can also be seen from this that he is practicing here when his injuries have not fully recovered. For Trunks, he had tasted being weak, and he didn't want it anymore. He knew that his strength was insufficient, so he didn't take a long rest after returning, and directly started the next step of cultivation. It has to be said that he himself is still not satisfied. In fact, the normal combat power is only 4 million, and he can bear 400 times the gravity of the Earth. This kid is already very awesome. Under this terrifying gravity, his injuries gradually worsened, but he didn't care about it, and forced his body to stand up and practice. But before he could stand up, the terrifying gravity directly crushed him to the ground. No, I just practiced for less than half an hour, my body has reached its limit, it's about to collapse. Trunks could clearly feel the changes in his body, and he was crushed out of breath. He struggled to regain his footing, but was so crushed that he couldn't move, he could only struggle on the spot. The unhealed injury, coupled with the pressure of gravity, caused his body to be torn, and bright red blood flowed from the wound. Not even Super Saiyan can be changed. It was at this time. Whoosh! Sound. There was a wave of fluctuation in the space in the gravity training room. Son Gohan cast instant transmission appeared. Just entering the gravity training room, the huge gravity suppressed him, and he almost fell to the ground before he could stand still. It's so heavy, you boy, challenge 400 times gravity without changing your body. Are you dying? Son Gohan frowned. This was indeed a surprise to him. At the moment the gravity value on the center console is 400 G. That is to say, 400 times the gravity. His ordinary practice in normal state is only 420 times. The normal limit of Trunks is only 300 times. It has directly increased to 400 times the gravity, and it is still a normal resistance. This kid is desperate. With quick eyes and quick hands, Son Gohan immediately turned off the function of the gravity training room. The gravity returned to normal, and Trunks, who fell to the ground dying, finally had a chance to breathe. Even if you want to become stronger, you didn't do it like this, Trunks. Son Gohan looked very angry without helping Trunks, who fell to the ground. This is also the instinctive emotion brought about by the memory attached to the original body. After all, to Trunks, the original body is the relationship between master and apprentice, brother and brother. I'm sorry, brother Gohan. I'm troubling you again. Trunks apologized after being caught and almost lost his life. As I said, you never need to apologize to me. Besides, you have grown up with Trunks. You should pay for your actions and decisions. Son Gohan's sharp eyes locked on Trunks. This invisible coercion made Trunks dare not look at Son Gohan. He was really too anxious. It's been a long time. I know that you are eager to become stronger, but strength will never belong to those who are anxious. What you lack now is not the amount of training and the intensity of training, but to restore your mentality. After your injury heals, I will teach you your new way of cultivation. Son Gohan took the initiative to break the calm, and he didn't mean to blame Trunks. He knew what kind of mentality Trunks had. He was too eager to become stronger, which would lead him astray. I see, brother Gohan. Trunks' answer was very obedient. But the thoughts in my heart are very messy. You are too anxious. With your talent, you will become stronger quickly through cultivation, but everyone's cultivation requires long-term accumulation and steady progress. You are too eager for strength. Bad thing. Go down and rest, don't mess around again in the future. Son Gohan reprimanded again. Hearing this, Trunks just nodded, opened the door of the gravity training room, and went back to rest as Son Gohan said. Watching Trunks leave, Son Gohan shook his head with a wry smile. As soon as the identity of the original body came up, I couldn't help shouting. Every time I face Trunks, I have to teach him inexplicably. Forget it, don't think about it, I can only give a little guidance, what happens in the future depends on him. After the words fell, Son Gohan diverted his attention and began to adjust the gravity of the gravity chamber. Before, when his normal combat power was 20 million points, he couldn't even withstand the gravity of 500 times the Earth. Now, his normal combat power has reached 65 million, and this 500 times gravity can no longer affect him. With a thought, Son Gohan mobilized the first order full power energy pool of Super Saiyan in his body. In just an instant, he turned into the first full power state of Super Saiyan. When I stabilize this state first, then the next goal is the second level of Super Saiyan. Son Gohan's pupils ignited the desire for stronger power. He decided to emulate Son Goku's training method in the original book and live with the full power of the first level of Super Saiyan. Turn this form into a normal state completely, and minimize energy consumption as much as possible. In an environment of 500 times the gravity, the familiar practice begins. Weight training outdoors. Trunks didn't go far directly. He glanced at the gravity training room. Through the window he could see the red light inside, which was much deeper than when he was training just now. He also guessed that Brother Gohan must have used a higher multiple of gravity for cultivation. Through the induction of Chi, he can judge how strong Brother Gohan is now. Both are Super Saiyan, they are completely incomparable. Too impatient will have the opposite effect. If you want to become stronger, can you only improve gradually? Trunks muttered. He looked at his shoulders, the white bandages were soaked with blood. Those wounds were torn open because of the 400 times gravity of this challenge, but fortunately, they did not worsen. After 2 days of rest, with his system, he can recover quickly. I swear, I will definitely help out, the next battle, no matter what, I will not hold back anymore. Brother Gohan secretly clenched his fists. Trunks kept in mind today's teaching, and swore in his heart. Time flies, and in the blink of an eye, another 2 days have passed like this. In these 2 days, the Earth has undergone considerable changes. Mr. Satan, who replaced Son Gohan's title of Savior, began to wear the title of Human Savior after getting Son Gohan's permission. Not only has it been widely publicized in various cities and different regions, but it has also effectively driven countless human beings, allowing them to see new hope and come out of the dark underground world. He has no scruples, and he also has a certain strength, so he can suppress the scene. I have to say that Satan does have a way of ignoring Hiroto. Relying on the title of world champion before the artificial man appeared, he already had a lot of prestige. Coupled with the disappearance of the artificial man and the fact that he stood up to take the credit, his prestige soared all of a sudden. Because of his appeal and title as the savior of the world, human beings began to follow him to build a new homeland, and it is bound to restore the Earth to the way it was in the past peaceful years within the next 3 years. Some people benefit, and naturally others are jealous. Especially those groups whose strengths are not brought into full play will eventually embark on an alternative path. Western Capital. Within the Magnum Capsule Company. After 2 days of recuperation, Trunks' injuries have also been greatly healed. Due to the characteristics of Saiyan, after recovering from serious injuries, his combat effectiveness will be improved. Now Trunks' normal combat strength has reached an astonishing 5 million. In this period, he has such a high combat power under normal circumstances, which is already comparable to him in the original book when he just went to the past world, and even stronger. Listening to Son Gohan's guidance, Trunks came to the gravity training room to find Son Gohan immediately after he recovered from his injury. At this moment, Son Gohan is exercising in a normal Super Saiyan state, which he has maintained for 3 days. Its purpose is to transform the first level of Super Saiyan into a normal state, so that the body can perfectly adapt to this state, and prepare for breaking through the second level of Super Saiyan, which is a higher level. Looking at your physical condition, you are recovering pretty well. Looking across Trunks, Son Gohan judged that the other party's body had recovered by 80% or 90%. Well, I've recovered, and now I can practice with you, Brother Gohan. Trunks said impatiently. Cultivation is okay, but there is a way that is more suitable for you now than gravity training. Son Gohan said. Another method of cultivation. Trunks was a little confused. I just started using this training method recently. Although it is a bit difficult for you now, the effect it can achieve is far better than the practice brought by the gravity training room. Son Gohan paused for a moment and then said, "Listen to Trunks, from now on, except for gravity training, you have to keep me in Super Saiyan state at all times, whether eating or sleeping. Try to control this state, normalize it, and over time, you will naturally realize the opportunity to break through to a higher level." "Do you always maintain the Super Saiyan state as your daily life?" Trunks muttered, and couldn't help but fall into deep thought. This way of cultivation sounds easy, but he is well aware of the difficulty. He still can't completely suppress the excitement of Super Saiyan, and he can't control his strength easily. If he keeps the Super Saiyan state as his daily life, this level of practice is far more difficult than bearing 400 times the gravity in a normal posture in the gravity training room. "I see, I will try to make Super Saiyan into my daily life." Trunks nodded, obeying whatever Son Gohan said. Son Gohan does what he says. In his mind, this is his life mentor. Son Gohan nodded. Tell Trunks the reason for this practice method. Son Gohan hopes that this kid, like him, can advance as quickly as possible, directly across the first stage of Super Saiyan, the second stage and the first stage of Super Saiyan, the third stage, go straight to Super Saiyan First Order full power. Although the latter two forms have increased combat power, after all, they sacrifice speed for strength, and their disadvantages are too great. Rather than learning these two forms, it is better to directly try to develop towards the full power of Chaoyi. If you practice in this way, it will be more comprehensive and effective. At the same time, in front of the dilapidated gate of Universal Capsule Company, an unexpected visitor ushered in. This uninvited guest is none other than Vital. She already knew a lot of things, all through her father. So, she's going to find Son Gohan. 1. Thank you. 2nd, it is to study. Her arrival happened to be bumped by Bulma. "Hello." Bulma took the initiative to greet him. "Hello, you must be Mrs. Bulma." Vital greeted very politely. "Well, I'm Bulma, are you?" Bulma asked curiously. "I am Mr. Satan's daughter. I am here to meet Mr. Son Gohan. There are some things that I want to clarify with him face to face." Frankly speaking, Vital revealed his purpose. "Satan's daughter, do you want to see Gohan?" Bulma was stunned for a moment. She seemed to have thought of something when she was always smart, and suddenly her eyes changed, showing a subtle feeling. To be precise, Bulma was wrong. No wonder Gohan let Satan so easily replace himself as a hero. It seems that it is because of this girl. No wonder Gohan is almost 30 after all, right? It's a good match to follow Shaonizi. Bulma guessed in his heart. Since this is the case, then come sit with me in the room for a while. Gohan and Trunks should be practicing at the moment, you have to wait for them. Mistakenly thinking Vital is Son Gohan's favorite object, Bulma enthusiastically tell about Son Gohan. Faced with Bulma's enthusiasm, Vital felt a little embarrassed. Especially when she heard Son Gohan's information, she felt very interesting and took every word seriously in her heart. A long time had passed by the time he realized it. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.